Check. Announcer 1. Check, check, check. Announcer 1. Check, check.
Mic 1, mic 2, you guys got me? Test, test. Mike, Mike. Yep. Hey, hey. I can't hear anything from here. I'm too far away from the speakers. All right, race fans, and welcome here to the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. Thomas Yarbrough, they call me the Noise of the North, bringing you all the live play-by-play action. Whether you're here in Grove or wherever you are across the world, welcome to round 3 of the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. As we do every race, we've got our fast lap qualifying going on here on the shores of Grand Lake here in Grove, Oklahoma. Group 1 out on the water, this 52 of Chris Rinker, your newly crowned Formula 200 national champion from the APBA National Championships, as well as the 15 of Tim Kraft, the 190 of Dustin Terry, the 95 of Mark Welch, and the 12 of Sean Love. The 52 of Chris Rinker laying down the fast lap right now. Look at the 12. It's Shane Love come across the start-finish line with a 35.975. Good enough for third here in this group of 5. Here comes the 95 of Mark Welch. Welch is just a half a second off. And then the 15 of Tim Kraft comes in. Tim Kraft lays down the fast lap time at 27.73 for the number 15. Tim Kraft with that APX 200 Mercury competition 4-stroke on the back. Can the 52 of Chris Rinker or the 190 of Dustin Terry knock off the 15 of Tim Kraft? Terry comes in with a 34.127, still way off the pace of the 15 of Tim Kraft. That might be a technical glitch in our timing system, and I have that take a look at it. It was very surprising to see the 52 of Chris Rinker 5 seconds off the pace. The 95 of Mark Welch comes across, lays down a 37.049, improves his time, but still 5th out of 5 here in Group 1 of these 3 group fast lap qualifiers. Here comes the 52 of Chris Rinker. Walks it across the start-finish line down the front straightaway. He's got that more scream with MTI trailers on the side. 42.193. Looks like that might not be his fast lap. The 15 of Tim Kraft still holding tight there with that 27 and some change as the fast lap. A 39.623 is the fast lap out there for the 15 of Tim Kraft. No, sorry, that was his last lap laid down. So still hanging on with that sub 30-second lap of the 15 of Tim Kraft. Just wondering if that's going to be a legitimate recorded time as he comes across the start-finish line again with a 37.40. You got to think that 27 and some change is not correct. So it looks like right now the 52 of Chris Rinker is your leader with that 33.829 here in Group A fast lap qualifying here at round 3 of the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. We can see that great overhead shot from our drone as the number 12 of Shane Love makes his way down the front stretch through turns 1 and 2. Now coming down the front stretch, the 95 of Mark Welch. The man out of Wayzata, Minnesota, makes his way into the turn. Can he lay down a better lap? Yes, he can. He lays down a 36.915, really starting to bunch up here in Group A. The 52 of Chris Rinker with a 34.585. That pushes him 3/4 of a second ahead of the 190 Dustin Terry. Here comes the Black Beauty with the Ameristar roofing on the side, crossing the start and finish line. Not a great lap by him there, 42.101, keeping him off the pace and behind the 52 of Chris Rinker. Now Rinker we finally got everything corrected there. It looks like Tim Kraft is at 37.832 in his last lap. That's about normal. 34.585, the lap time to beat here as the 15 of Tim Kraft comes across the start-finish line one more time. Down into turn number 1. A little bit off his own pace. Now here comes the 190 Dustin Terry, 34.191. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a new leader here in Group A qualifying with a 34.191 by the 190 of Dustin Terry. These guys got one final lap. Can they lay it down here coming out of turn number 4? The 15 of Tim Kraft walks it off at turn number 4. Now lays the hammer down on that APX 200 competition 4-stroke Mercury outboard on the back. That Molgard hull's got it dialed in and screaming. Laying out a 37.409. That's going to leave him off the pace. Here comes the 190 of Dustin Terry, 33.959, going sub 34 seconds. Will that be enough to take the early pole position lead for qualifying heat racing later on today and tomorrow morning as they get the checkered flag? What a run there by the 190 in that Black Beauty, the Ameristar roofing of Dustin Terry. They call him the Dust Man, the young man out of Houma, Louisiana. Looks like I do confirm with our chief referee, Lindsey Matthews, we did have a bit of a scoring issue there with the 52 of Chris Rinker and the 15 of Tim Kraft. Tentatively, looks like the 52 of Chris Rinker is going to lay down the time to beat. I'm going to wait to confirm that, but we've got the second group coming up in fast lap qualifying, the next 5 boats on the water. Let's take a look. The winner from round 2 at Lake of the Ozarks, a young man out of Innisfil, Ontario, Canada, runner for Crystal Clear Wiper Blades, the number 94 of Rusty Wyatt, as well as the 17 Anderson Marine Machine out of Nashville, Tennessee, the number 17 of Dylan Anderson. Well, look out, there comes the 8 of Jeremiah. Get out of my way, Mayo, one half of the Phase 3 Performance Racing Team. He's got that thing screaming as they all go down 3 wide into turn number 1. The 17 of Anderson, the 8 of Mayo, and the 94 Wyatt. There comes the Fleming Manufacturing, the number 9 of Johnny Fleming, the young driver out of the Woodlands, Texas. Makes his way, and then the final boat, the 99 of Travis Yates. Another one of those APX competition 4-stroke Mercury outboards here, running on the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Who's going to lay down the fast lap as they've finally gotten their one-lap round? Here comes the time to beat, set first by the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. Let's take a look. He comes in at a 36.807. Anderson registers a 52.486. There's got to be something weird going on there. I don't know what's going on here with these transponders. But a 33.627 by the 9 of Johnny Fleming. And the 99 of Travis Yates with a 34.849. We've got these drivers stacked up, all on top of one another here in Group B Group 2 fast lap qualifying here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. The 94 Rusty Wyatt walks it across 32.237. We've got a new leader, ladies and gentlemen. The man who won round 2 is looking to go back-to-back here in 2023 and get himself back in the conversation for series champion, laying down a sub-33 second with a 32.237. That is going to be a tough time to beat. The 99 of Travis Yates comes by. Again, he's a little bit of a slower lap there as he's trying to find some clean water. These guys have to space themselves out, otherwise they're going to be running in rooster tails. But they're all trying to chase. The young man out of Innisfil, Ontario, Canada. That number 94, that white boat with the blaze orange trim, crystal clear wiper blades on the side. All right, we're going to take a look here at the rest of Group B. The 94 of Rusty Wyatt looking real sweet out there in that crystal clear machine. He's got that thing dialed in, really trimmed, very flat, packing air under that 17-foot long Formula One tunnel hull here on the shores of Grand Lake. The 9 of Fleming looking really well. He had an okay run at Lake of the Ozarks, decent run in our opening round in Port Neches, Texas. Trying to do it again and maybe get himself on the podium here in round number 3. The 17 of Dylan Anderson, always a tough competitor on the water. He went over, if you remember, in the final of the Lotto Power Fest back in June. Had quite a bit of a break here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series this season, but he went over with about 9 laps to go. And, boy, that really hurt his chances for a series championship here in 2023. But he's out there screaming, pushing hard. So is the number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, the young driver out of Richmond, Texas, running for Phase 3 Performance in that Hoffman hull with the checkered and teal on top of that white, all-composite Formula One machine. It's got it dialed in and screaming here on Grand Lake, pushing it hard out of turn number 2, now putting it on its tail as he's going wide back to the outside. As we see as the 94 of Wyatt now makes his way down the back straightaway, trying to lay down another fast lap. Can the 94 find himself on the pole as he works his way down to the north end of the course into turn number 3? As we swing back around to the other end of the course, we've got the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo and the 17 of Dylan Anderson going down the back straightaway as they try to lay down the fast lap. Who is going to knock off the 52 of Chris Rinker? Can anybody knock off the 52 of Chris Rinker? We did see a sub 33 second time, but confirming if our timing system's having some technical difficulties or if that's on spot, don't worry. We've got a backup timing system that we use in place just in case things like that happen. So we'll make sure everything is good to go. There's the 94 Rusty Wyatt walks across the start-finish line at the checkered flag. Here is the second group of qualifiers here in our fast lap qualifying here in round 3 of the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. There's a great overhead shot there of the 94 of Wyatt, working his way down the back straightaway. The 99 of Travis Yates comes by, and it looks like that might be it, as the 94 of Wyatt might have gotten one more lap in. I'm not really sure. He slowed down a little bit, I thought, but boy, he's got it dialed in as he comes across the start-finish line. He's continuing to push that white and orange crystal clear wiper blades machines to the top here as we start to set our grid for our first of 3 qualifying heats later on this morning. Again, for those of you just joining us here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series for round 3, welcome. We're here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma on Grand Lake, the lake with the most shoreline of any lake in the United States, with 1,333 miles of shoreline, a series of dammed up rivers that have built a beautiful playground here in northeast Oklahoma. Really the beginning of the Ozarks as it works northeast up to Lake of the Ozarks and all the way through the rest of Missouri. But as a kid from Minnesota, definitely not what I expected when I came to Oklahoma. Reminds me a lot more of home than I expected. Rolling hills, beautiful trees. What a beautiful setting we've got here. And we've got racing all day. We've got concerts tonight, finishing up with Brett Michaels from Poison, rocking the shores of Grand Lake. So if you're here locally, make sure you make your way down here this afternoon, watch the conclusion of racing, and hang out for some great music by the likes of Brett Michaels and the rest of the rockin' lineup we've got here for day 1 of the 2023 Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake. All right, well, that wraps up group number 2. The question is who's going to come out on top in group 2? Can any of them knock off the 52 of Chris Rinker, who was the man to beat in group number 1? All right, we're waiting for word from our scoring team and our chief referee before we release group 3 on this 4-pin 1-mile course here on the shores of Grand Lake. Real shallow here down in front of Wolf Creek Regional Park. Turn 1 is in 3.5 feet of water. Those of you familiar with tunnel boat racing know we only need about 18 inches to run at full speed, so these guys no problem while they're racing. But boy, it gets real shallow down there in turn 1. You know, so happy to be a part of Boats, Beats, and Barbecue here, this inaugural event put on by Mid-America Outdoors. What a great company, Mid-America Outdoors, right here in the local area from Jay, Oklahoma. Mid-America Outdoors and the city of Grove, Oklahoma together are proud to bring you Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. Labor Day weekend on Grand Lake. The event is for the community and the benefits the community. All ticket proceeds will go to area nonprofit organizations and charities doing work to better the area in various ways. Please join us in supporting these organizations while having a great holiday weekend. All day today and Sunday, enjoy the exciting racing, and be sure to check out the barbecue teams in the Kansas City barbecue competition that's going on in conjunction with the racing and the concerts here this weekend. Enjoy the food trucks, let the kids play on the bounce houses. Starting at 2 p.m. each day, it's music festival time. Boaters can access the area after the races to line up for the festival and watch the concert from the water or on land. No boat, no problem. Live music stage will be accessible to spectators from the lake shore. Bring a swimsuit, grab a raft, and jump in for a full water festival experience. There's simple parking available at Wolf Creek Park. Huge shout out to the presenting sponsors, Can-Am, Ultimax Belts, and Good Boy Vodka. Stop by and say hi to Ultimax Belts, along with Mid-America Outdoor Ambassador Terry Madden and his custom-built endurance race car in the food truck area. All right, we've got Group 3 out there, green flagged on the water. And we got a couple of top competitors here in Group 3 coming across the start-finish line. And the other half of the Clover Construction team, that's the number 24 of Spencer Love. Can he be your winner here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue Round 3 of the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series? All right, let's take a look here. Ooh, Terry Rinker, the other half of the Phase 3 performance team, 32.778. That might be enough to be the leader here so far through fast lap qualifying. Again, we had some technical difficulties in my ability to see the timing system. I did confirm that all timing was correct. Let's see here, right behind him, the 59 of Tyler Welch with a 34.593, about a second and a half or so off the pace. He's got to ratchet it up a notch as he comes across the start-finish line again. 33.871, the young man out of Wayzata, Minnesota is really starting to up his game. I got to say, 2023 has been a phenomenal year for the 59 of Tyler Welch. He's really starting to figure out that Baba Hull. As these drivers continue to push to try to find themselves on the top spot on the start pontoon for our qualifying heats later today, 32.769 by the number 10 of Terry Rinker out in first, 33.871 by the 59 of Tyler Welch, and then a 33.915 by the 24 of Spencer Love. Where did Tyler Welch come from, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like he brought the heat from Minnesota here to Grand Lake, and looking to mix it up with these rest of the drivers here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series here at Round 3, Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake. We got the white flag out, so the last lap of fast lap qualifying here. The 24 of Spencer Love comes walking across the start-finish line. Can he move himself up ahead of the 59 of Tyler Welch? Not enough for the 24 of Tyler Welch, so of the 24 of Spencer Love. So the 59 of Tyler Welch hangs on to second with that 33.871. Here comes the 10 of Terry Rinker. Can he best his own lap? 31.440. Ladies and gentlemen, the sub-32-second mark has been broken by the KG veteran out of Tampa, Florida. The 10 of Terry Rinker, a beast on the water, is looking to assert his dominance here early and often. What a lap it was by the driver from Florida running for Phase 3 performance. And crossing the start-finish line in wrapping up Group 3 qualifying, the 13 of Grant Schubert with a 35.382 on his final lap. We see the total elapsed times there for all 5, 6, or 7 laps. See the 59 of Tyler Welch only laying down 5 laps there. The 24 of Spencer Love laying down 6. And the 10 of Terry Rinker, the veteran, getting 1 extra lap in, and boy, did he put that lap to good use. The 10 of Rinker goes sub 32 seconds and lays down a tough lap time to beat. And that's going to possibly put him on pole position for the first qualifying heat. For those of you new to the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, remember, we run 3 qualifying heats, 2 today, 1 tomorrow morning. The first heat, they start in order of how they qualified in their fast lap qualifiers. That's going to see the 10 of Terry Rinker possibly be on that pole. We got to consolidate all 3 groups to see how it's going to end up. But then in heat number 2, we do what I call flipping the script, right? Worst goes to first goes to worst. So they start collecting points in the first qualifying heat. Whoever wins qualifying heat number 1 will find themselves last off the start pontoon in heat number 2. Same as, again, in heat number 3. What this does is it requires our drivers not only to show their ability to lay down the fast lap time, but it also requires them to show how they can move through back markers and work their way through traffic, was really the true mark of a champion here in Formula One tunnel boat racing. And that's what makes the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series the preeminent series here in North America to run, because it really is a true full test of all skills a tunnel boat driver is required to have to be called a champion. Well, we're going to get the Formula Ones off the water. You see there's a nice up-close shot of the 190 of Dustin Terry, the Dustman out of Houma, Louisiana, making his way back to the back to the trailer. That Black Beauty Ameristar Roofing, a tribute to Bill Siebel, the greatest tunnel boat racer in the history of the world. That 190 with that blue, yellow, and red livery on the side is a tribute to the Mercury Racing factory team that Bill was a part of for so many years. And that 190 had a lot of checkered flags. And normally the 03 of Dustin Terry running that 190 this year, looking to bring the 190 back to prominence, and hopefully he can find his way on the podium here this afternoon. Take a look at some of these other drivers that had a great fast lap qualifier. There you see the 24 of Spencer Love had a solid run. The 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, always fast, as well as the 10 of Terry Rinker. But the 59 of Tyler Welch, really my big surprise of the morning so far. The young man out of Wayzata, Minnesota, running for Welch Racing. And WYSIWYG was able to lay down a screaming fast lap going, I think, sub 33 seconds, possibly right over that 33-second mark. Again, I don't have all the qualifying times in front of me yet as they're being tabulated and put into a running order for qualifying heat number 1. But he is really starting to figure out that Baja hull. He's had it for only a couple of years now. It takes a little while to get used to that all-composite. He's moving from a wood Hoffman-built hull that he ran for so long, but he has really got that thing dialed in. I would not be surprised if you saw the 59 of Tyler Welch living inside the top 5 in the first of 3 qualifying heats there. We could zoom back out. The 8 of Jeremiah Mayo's hatched. The young man out of Richmond, Texas, hanging out here right next to the judges' stand and myself here. Fires that 2.5-liter Mercury V6 outboard on the back of that Phase 3 Performance all-composite Hoffman. Boy, the Hoffman hulls have really become the hull to beat here in 2023 and 2022. They've really started to take over on the series. We've got 3 or 4 of them out here this weekend. We're missing a couple of them due to some racing accidents at the American Powerboat Association National Championships last weekend. Otherwise, we probably have more Hoffmans here. We also lost a couple of drivers as they got stuck in Hurricane Idalia that hit the Gulf Coast of Florida mid this week. They weren't able to make it out in time as their home base was right in the path of Idalia. So the 77 of Mike Quindazzi, especially, hopefully you're doing well and enjoying the race, and really miss that you're not able to be with us. A tough competitor who showed at the Lake of the Ozarks shootout round 2 that, boy, he can nail the start. As we saw in the restart on the main event, that young man out of Florida left a lot of boats looking like they were standing still on a rolling restart as he really hit it hard. And that machine's got some top speed. We're really hoping to see him here, but Mother Nature decided for him that he was going to have to stay home in Florida here this weekend. There's the 99 of Travis Yates, that Chartreuse and Black JH Performance Yates racing machine. That's got a 4-stroke motor on the back, the first competition racing 4-stroke that has ever been produced in the world, built by Mercury Racing out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. The 4-stroke 200 APX competition racing engine is an interesting beast. It's obviously a lot bigger, a lot heavier, but man, the torque and the power on the top end on those machines is second to none. If drivers like the 99 of Travis Yates, as well as the rest of the field, the 190 of Dustin Terry, and the 15 of Tim Kraft can figure out how to wrangle in those APX 200s and get them to come off the beach and turn well in the corners, I think we're going to have a game changer here in Formula One into the future as we look to move into the future and away from the old 2-stroke technology and step in to the 21st century and usher in the era of the 4-stroke outboard, much like motocross did a handful of years ago, moving away from the 2-stroke to the 4-stroke dirt bikes. We're looking to do the same here in Formula One tunnel boat racing. Now, the nice thing about the 4-stroke is all she needs is a oil change and some gas throughout the race season. Those drivers will ship their motors back to Mercury to have them rebuilt at the end of the race season, but boy, really allows the teams to focus on propeller and setup and really the driver's skill and ability, not necessarily as much as how well they can build a motor. And that's really what it's about, right? It's not about who has the most money and can spend the most money to build the best motor. It's about your skill set on the water. Now, don't get me wrong, tuning motors and getting them prepared for racing is a part of it, but we're trying to create the ultimate level of parity here in boat racing by bringing in those APX 4-stroke motors, as they're about to get introduced as well overseas. The F1 H2O Series has their next round in about a month in Sardinia, and you will see the first V8 APX 360 on the back of Marit Stromoy and her Stromoy Racing machine as she debuts that on the Formula One H2O Series. So we've had them out here for a couple of seasons. Last year was the introduction of the APX 4-stroke, and we had a handful of drivers adopt that for the 2022 season. We've added a couple additionals here in 2023. For those of you following along all year, we did have an invitational race a few weeks ago, so not a series points race, but all of our 8PX 4-stroke Mercury Racing competitors were invited to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and boy, the city of Sheboygan came out phenomenally in a joint venture between P1 Offshore and the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, really displaying all the new current technology in racing from the great folks at Mercury. All right, well, we're getting the Formula Ones off the water. We're going to get the Formula Lights out for their fast lap qualifying. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing right after this. It's the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
All right, continuing to thank our great sponsors that bring the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series to the races throughout 2023. JH Performance Boats. Custom, handcrafted, shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. Racing Communications. Their radios for racing. Seabold Sports. World champion powerboat racing since 1939. Moto Marketing Group. Moto Marketing Group provides award-winning advertising and strategic marketing solutions to any size company or team. With one-on-one service and consulting, Moto Marketing Group excels in racing and sports marketing, advertising, and design. And they have a track record to prove it. From boats to cars and motorcycles, if it has an engine, they can make it scream. Seaway Marine. Seaway Marine is your one-stop dealership for current and vintage outboard and stern drive parts. They make specialized in hard-to-find and no longer available new old stock for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, Gale, Mercury, Force, and Chrysler outboard motors, as well as OMC, Mercruiser, and Volvo stern drives and engine parts from Chris Craft. Check out Seaway Marine online at seawaymarine.com, your one-stop boat motor shop. And Excel Sports, the official apparel provider of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Your passion drives us to excel. All right, we've got more. Looks like we might have all our Formula Lights out on the water, and they're getting ready to go. We're just getting the rest of the Formula One boats off of the race course so we can allow our drivers in the Formula Lights class to get out on the water. A little bit different than the Formula Ones. These boats running two-cylinder, 45 cubic inch OMC outboards on the back, and they're still doing 80-plus miles an hour. These are the mighty boats that could. Not a whole lot of power plant on the back, but the design of the Formula Light and that tunnel hull that allows it to lift that boat up out of the water can see these Formula Lights, again, reach speeds in excess of 80 miles an hour here on the shores of Grand Lake. What a beautiful event here in Grand Lake. I got to say, it's first time to Grove, Oklahoma. Absolutely loving my time here so far. Funny story there as we see the 59 at Tyler Welch, young man who had a phenomenal fast lap qualifier here as he was in Group 3. But Here's what really stunts me. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 6 hours from Canada. I came to Grove to cool down. 98 degrees in Minneapolis today, I think, 100 tomorrow. And, boy, we couldn't ask for better weather here on Grand Lake. We're going to be, maybe high 80s to 90, but for this part of the country this time of year, I think that's a little bit of a break in the heat for most. Large contingency of our competitors hailing from Florida and the southern Gulf Coast and Texas. They've been dealing with some very high temperatures all summer long, and they're enjoying the reprieve here as well. So you can see there on the start pontoon, there's the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, your defending series champion and points leader. He's looking to go back to back to back with a three-peat here in 2023. Can he do it here in round two? In round one, he collected the most points, but he did not win the main event as he watched the 18 of Jason Nelson pull a nifty little move down in the south end of the course in our opening round in Port Neches, Texas, and ran that all the way to victory. Can the 35 of Mark Schmierbach get back on top of the podium here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake? You see the big Jumbotron there and the big stage. It's going to be rocking starting at 3 p.m. today all the way till 9 p.m. with the night wrapping up with the great Brett Michaels of Poison jamming out here on Grand Lake in Northeast Oklahoma. You see the big Boats, Beats, and Barbecue livery around the stage there. We've got a ton of fans starting to pack in. We've got the great Kansas City barbecue competition going on as well. Boy, they were firing up the smokers last night when we were getting all the particulars and everything set up and ready to go here for racing today and tomorrow. And it was hard to concentrate at times because that beautiful hickory and cherry wood and all the different lovely smoke flavors coming off these very impressive barbecue pits. I mean, this is not your standard setup that you find in your backyard. These are very highly evolved, highly intricate, and large barbecue pits that they will smoke everything from chickens to sausage to brisket, ribs, and all sorts of delicious treats that you can sample. We're going to have a tasters or a fan favorite taste test tomorrow that is going to be a part of the festival, and it's going to allow you, as if you are here at Grand Lake, in Grove on Grand Lake, you're going to be able to enjoy some of that delicious, tasty barbecue from the competition here this weekend, the Kansas City Barbecue Competition, the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, and the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors bringing you one heck of a Labor Day weekend here in 2023. Let's talk a little bit more about the barbecue. The Kansas City Barbecue Society sanctioned backyard competition is being ran There we go. Sorry about that. Is being ran by the Oklahoma Barbecue Society, the number one ranked Kansas City, the number one KCSB backyard team, along with several other top 25 teams here competing for great payouts, including the People's Choice Award Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 1 to 3, event attendees can purchase a $10 barbecue plate. So not just on Sunday, but tomorrow as well, you can get a $10 barbecue plate from the ticket booth. Head to the main serving area for a blind taste test of the team's pulled pork entries. Sunday from 12 to 2, you can purchase that same $10 plate from the ticket booth and head around to meet the teams and sample their outlaw-style Chef's Choice dishes. You can place your votes in the main serving area for who you think has got the best pulled pork and the best outlaw-style Chef's Choice dishes. You know, I mentioned earlier that the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors putting on this event to give back to their local community. Mid-America Outdoors, based out of Jay, Oklahoma, just 10 minutes south here at Grove, just south of beautiful Grand Lake, wanted to give back to their community. And so many organizations that are out there that put on events like this, from car racing to concerts to anything. You don't normally see an organization step up and say, you know what, we're going to spend a bunch of money, we're going to put on an event, and we're going to give all that money to other people to help our community. And that's a real big thing. And I commend the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors for stepping up and recognizing that they wouldn't be who they are without the great folks here in the Grove J community, and they really wanted to give back. And these are some of the nonprofits that are going to benefit from Boats, Beats, and Barbecues. We are proud to be partnered with several area nonprofits and charity organizations. Meet them and learn about their missions while here at the event. So come on down. Located around the nonprofit tent setup near the food trucks. Use the tickets you were given at the booth to vote for your favorite group to be supported with the proceeds from the event. So, nonprofits, make sure you're taking care of your fans out there that stop by, because they're going to be voting for who the best nonprofit is. But the partners for the 2023 event: Community and Crisis Center, Delaware County Children's Special Advocacy Network, Grand Nation, Grand Warriors Club, Grove Rotary Foundation, Harbar Village Museum, the Lindenwood Gardens, Oasis Animal Adventures, Second Chance Pet Rescue, and Teen Challenge of Oklahoma and Adolescent Centers. All right, we are back underway with racing here as the 21 of Jose Mendana Jr., the young man out of Tampa, Florida, running for Mike Scott Plumbing, starts things off and gets us underway here in fast lap qualifiers in the Formula Lights class. All right, now these first laps that you're going to see come across the ticker with their lap times, don't count those, because a lot of times these first laps, they take a little bit longer to get around the course as they're just trying to get the feel for it, right? And again, they may run 7-8 laps, but only 2 or 3 of them are really their fast laps. With a 38.522, there's the time to beat. Let's see, here comes the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, your leader in 2022. He goes 44.662. See, that's why you got to kind of throw out that first lap. They'll go really wide around the course to build up a lot of speed before they lay down. And here comes the 14 of Tyler Peterson just flashing in front of the screen there as we stay on the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, going down the far end of the course, as well as the 21 of Jose Mendana. He goes way off the course, now looking to kind of build up speed and set a second lap as he's the man to beat, the time to beat with a 38.522. Here comes the 35 of Schmierbach. He tails it off at turn number 3, now crossing the start-finish line. A 37.13. So the 21 of Mendana not even close to that time, as again that was his first lap, so you got to throw that out. Now here comes the 14 of Tyler Peterson. He goes 32.216, 2 seconds off the pace of the 35 of Schmierbach. Now here comes the 21 of Mendana as we've got that first half of our Formula Lights field here in Grove, Oklahoma. We would have had more, but those of you who watched the APBA National Championships, there was carnage in Formula Lights, and we lost a large chunk of our competitors. Great overhead shot there as he comes off at turn number 2. Down the backstretch, can the 21 of Mendana knock off the man out in front, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach? Or can it be this man, the young man out of Minnesota, with a 31.962, a little bit better, but not enough to knock off the 35 of Schmierbach? Here comes Schmierbach across the start-finish line. Can he improve? No, he's got that, again, long lap time because he was out trying to build up speed. So we'll see what he does next time around. Jose Mendana goes 36.86. We've got a new fast lap qualifier, 36.86 by the 21 of Mendana, the young man out of Tampa, Florida. One half of the Mike Scott Plumbing team. We'll see his teammate, the 27 of Steve Lee, in the other half. But can the 35 of Schmierbach knock off the man that's out in front? Now you see him come off at turn 4. Here comes the 35 of Schmierbach, fast lap qualifiers. He goes across the start-finish line, 36.55. They just keep knocking each other off here in Formula Lights. Now the 21 of Mendana and the 14 of Peterson are going to get word that the 35 of Schmierbach is the new fast lap. Peterson gathered up speed. Now he's going to go for one final run. So does Mendana. Here comes Mendana. Can he knock off the 35 of Schmierbach, or will it be the 14 of Peterson? There you see Peterson flashing in the background there, out of turns 1 and 2 already. Schmierbach done. He's going to let these guys try to beat him as he's going slow around the course. There goes Mendana out of turn number 1. Now puts that all-white Mike Scott Plumbing Grand Prix Formula Light on its tail. Pushing hard, packing under air, 65, 70, 75, 80 miles an hour. But here comes the 14 of Tyler Peterson. Can he knock off the 35 of Schmierbach? No, with a 31.764, his best time, but only good enough for third. Now here comes the 21 of Mendana. He goes tight off at turn number 4, slides it wide to the outside, coming down the front stretch. Can he be our new leader here in Fast Lap Qualifier? 39.72, not quite enough to knock off the KG veteran. Out of Greenfield, Wisconsin, the running for Pizza Inn, the number 35 of Mark Schmierbach. Ooh, what an intense run that was. I have a feeling. Oh, looks like we might have one more here. The 14 of Tyler Peterson's going to get one last crack at it. And he goes 31.636. So every lap time a little bit better for the 14 of Tyler Peterson, but could not break that sub-31 second mark and finds himself 3rd out of 3 in the first half of fast lap qualifiers here in Formula Lights. The other half of the Formula Lights class here, again, lots of carnage from the APBA National Championships. I know the 24 of Shelby Love, part of the Clover Racing team, was really looking forward to Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. Unfortunately, took a really heavy hit at the Nationals that did some damage to the point where her boat is non-repairable. So they're not even going to put that boat back together. They are just going to look at acquiring her a new hull for 2024, but she couldn't be here, and a host of other drivers that ended up with some pretty bad damage. But here we go. We've got Group 2 out on the water. The 29 of Jared Jensen, the 27 of Steve Lee, and the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster. Can any of them knock off the 35 of Mark Schmierbach and lay down a sub 30.5 second lap? Because that's what they're going to need as Schmierbach laid down a 36.55 to be the man out in front so far here in fast lap qualifiers and Formula Lights. There we're following the 29 of Jared Jensen. That's the Go Boat Racing Island Lake Marine machine out of Denver, Colorado, as he walks that pew orange and gray across 35.470. Again, that's the first lap, so he's just still kind of picking up speed. Here comes the 27 of Steve Lee down the north end of the course as we stay with the 29 of Jensen. There's, you see in the background there's the 27 of Steve Lee crossing the start-finish line. He goes 51.303, right, trying to build up a lot of speed. And then the final boat in the group here coming out of the turn there, wide out of turn number 4. That's the 78. The driver out of San Antonio, Texas, the number 78 of Marshall Gildermaster. Now here comes the 29 of Jared Jensen. This is going to be his real first lap, 31.754. Below the 32-second mark, but he's going to have to break that sub-31-second barrier if he wants to be in the conversation for a podium finish here this weekend. Now coming out of the turn number 4 off the first start-finish line, here's the 27 of Steve Lee. Lee goes 31.883 in his first complete lap here in the Formula Lights fast lap qualifying. There goes Lee. Now he's trying to lay down another lap. Now here comes the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster, first-year rookie in Formula Lights, goes 36.795. You'll notice that silver machine looks eerily similar to the 14 of Tyler Peterson. That's because they are both Danish-built Molgard hulls. Now we are on top of the 27 of Steve Lee. He goes tight on the turn number 4. Packs the air, lays the nose back down. 31.778, not enough to knock off the 29 of Jared Jensen. So Jared's still hanging out there with the top speed here in Group B fast lap qualifier. And again, we split them up for safety purposes. Their times recorded are how they'll slot in for their first of 3 qualifying heats. There you see the 29 of Jensen goes by with a 32.561, and the 78 of Gildermaster a little bit off the pace with that 39.014. He's got to stay wide to the outside, allows the 29 of Jensen to get down to the inside of him and continuing to push as Jensen tries to hold off the 27 of Steve Lee. Now here comes Lee for another run at a fast lap as he goes across the start-finish line. We're still on top of the 29 of Jared Jensen, who's out in front. Now he's going to come off of 4. Can he beat his own time? He crosses the start-finish line. 31.90, not enough to beat his best lap time out there, but can the 27 of Steve Lee do what he couldn't last time around? He goes into turn number 3. That blaze orange and blue Florida Gators looking style. Mike Scott Plumbing Formula Light goes down out of turn number 4. As the white flag goes out, he's got one more crack at it. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Lee goes 31.439, your fast lap qualifier here in the second group of Formula Lights. That moves him up into 3rd position overall behind the 35 of Schmierbach and the 21 of Mendana. So we've got teammates in 2nd and 3rd. But that thorn in their side, the man from Greenfield, Wisconsin out in front, can the 27 of Steve Lee do what his teammate couldn't in Group 1? Gildermaster goes 36.808, still off the pace a little bit. Here comes the 27 of Lee, goes across the start-finish line. 31.745, not enough to beat his own best time. That's going to end him up in 3rd. Here in fast lap qualifying with the 29 of Jared Jensen, trying to knock him back off as we got our final run here through Formula Lights. Here comes the 29 of Jensen. He puts it on its tail, way up on its tail. 31.613, and not enough to knock off the 27 of Steve Lee in his fast lap qualifier in the second group here in Formula Lights. Well, that's going to wrap up fast lap qualifying here in Formula Lights. We had a great competitive run in Formula One. We'll take a look here in a little bit and see what that starting order looks like for their first qualifying heat. But up next, the Tri-Hulls. Bumper boats at 65 miles an hour coming up here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake. It's the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, Round 3, here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. All right, attention race fans here at the park here in Grove. I need a blue Ford Explorer license plate. Looks like that is a Oklahoma license plate 0913NC. 0913 Nancy Charlie. You need to move your vehicle. I've also got a white Honda SUV. Looks like a Honda Pilot, with an Arkansas license plate 256 Victor Paula Oscar, VPO or VP0. You need to move your vehicle, as well as a blue Chevy Silverado license plate. It looks like that's a Kansas license plate 455 Henry Frank David, 455 HFD. Please move your vehicles. If you do not move them, we will tow them, and you will have to pay the fine. Oh, and I've got one more. I've got a red Toyota Tundra, Oklahoma plates, Mr. Hobbs. Move your red Toyota Tundra, or you will be towed. Again, I've got a red Toyota Tundra, a white Honda Pilot, a blue Chevy Silverado, and a blue Ford Explorer. You need to move your vehicles immediately, or they will be towed. Thank you. They are near the ticket booth area, so if you heard your vehicle description or your license plate, please move your vehicle immediately. Thank you. All right, well, race fans had to do a little bit of house cleaning there, as happens here, especially in inaugural events. People think they can park wherever they want. That's not the case. You only can park where they designate the parking, and which is weird because the Bassmaster Classic is going to be here on Grand Lake in February of 2024. The parking lot they have built to accommodate the Bassmaster Classic is larger than a football field. I think there should be plenty enough parking in that parking lot, but hopefully those folks will get their their cars moved. But up next, we've got the first of 4 qualifying heats in Texas Tri-Hull. Bumper boats at 65 miles an hour, looking to churn up the waters here on Grand Lake in their first of 4 qualifying heats here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue 2023 right here in beautiful Grand Lake. Love coming to my first time to Oklahoma. Never been to Oklahoma before. I've driven through it, but I don't count going to a state just because you drove through it on an interstate. First time I've ever stayed the night in the beautiful, great state of Oklahoma, the Okie State. And, excited to be here. Love it. We can see, let's take a look. We've got a host of Tri-Hulls out on the water. All right, again, we've got the Kansas City Barbecue Society here putting on an unbelievable competition. You should smell it from where I'm at. It's a mixture right now of barbecue smoke and 2-stroke gasoline. Two unbelievable smells. You put them together, that's a great little Saturday afternoon here on the shores of Grand Lake. We got barbecue, and we got concerts going on tonight. Rock night tonight starting at 3 with Dead Metal Society, Midwest premier 80s hair metal tribute band. And then Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles, lead guitarist of the Eagles and one of the most popular and influential rock groups of their time. Don has forged an impressive career as a top-tier solo artist with 3 full-length albums, as well as several successful singles for film scores. And then rounded out tonight, Bret Michaels, formerly of Poison, fresh off his Hit Stadium Party Garage tour. Brett bringing his electric show to Boats, Beats, and Barbecue with all the killer Poison hits and no filler. You know, and he loves coming back here because this is home for him, right? He's from this area of the country. He loves the people here. He loves to come back. And, you know, they had a chance to talk to the folks at Mid-America Outdoors, and they said in all the events they've put on and all the musical acts that have been a part of their events, nobody has been more involved and more excited than Brett Michaels. So excited to come here to Grand Lake and to Grove, Oklahoma, and help be a part of giving back to the local Oklahoma community here in Northeast Oklahoma. Very excited to be here, and he's going to put on one heck of a show tonight. Again, Brett Michaels capping off Rock Night here, the first of 2 nights of music after the conclusion of racing here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. Tomorrow is going to be Country Night. For Country Night on Sunday, the Aces Wild Band bringing the party everywhere they go. And then it's Tim Montana, country rock singer-songwriter, toured with Kid Rock. ZZ Top's going to be right there in the middle. And closing out the night, the Lax country rap duo based in Baxley, Georgia, started by Clay Sharp and Brian King. Over a decade ago, they combined their styles of country, southern rock, rap, and blues to form their own unique style and sound. So we got 2 jam-packed days of racing, 2 jam-packed days of concerts. We've got barbecue, we got sunshine. What a great way to spend your Labor Day weekend here in 2023. There you see one part of the Rinkers 3 here in the Tri-Hull division of the Formula One Powerboat Championship. That's the 37 of Mason Rinker. Boy, he had a doozy of a battle at the last round on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series at the Lake of the Ozarks shootout, or Lodo Power, excuse me, not the shootout, Power Fest. Lake of the Ozarks shootout happened last weekend with some unbelievable runs, but early June, the Lodo Power Fest saw the Offshore Powerboat Association in conjunction with Formula One Powerboat Championship Series put on a great weekend of racing there up in Lake of the Ozarks, just about 3.5 to 4.5 hours northeast of here. So that was at the north end of the Lake of the Ozarks. We're now here at the southern end of the Ozarks in this beautiful Grand Lake, which is 1,333 miles of shoreline. I believe the next largest in the United States is like 850 miles. Talk about a lot of shoreline to enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and we're so excited to have all the people down here. We got the Tri-Hulls out on the water, and these guys do a little bit different than we do in Formula Lights and Formula One. They do 2x2 rolling starts. So let's take a look at our starting lineup for qualifying heat number 1 here in Tri-Hull. On the inside of row 1, your reigning American Powerboat Association national champion in Tri-Hull out of Richmond, Texas, running for JH Performance Boats, the number 13 of Grant Schubert. On the outside of row 1, running for Island Lake Marine and Go Boat Racing out of Meade, Colorado, number 93, J.B. Jensen. On the inside of row 2, coming back to his roots here for Boats, Beats, and BBQ, running for Ameristar Roofing out of Houma, Louisiana, number 6, the Dustman, Dustin Terry. On the outside of row number 2, again, one part of the Rinkers 3 here in Tri-Hull. In that number 52 Rinkers Boat World machine, Tanner Rinker. On the inside of row 3, running for Just Send It Racing out of Richmond, Texas, the number 88 of Josh Wells. On the outside of row 3, another part of the Rinkers 3 here in Tri-Hull, the brother to the 52 of Mason Rinker, the number 37. Excuse me, the brother of the 52 of Tanner Rinker, the number 37 on the outside of row 3 there, 37 of Mason Rinker. On the inside of row 4, your defending Tri-Hull champion. He finished second at the National Championships by a nose just a week ago in Springfield, Ohio. They call him the Dude, coming straight out of Hemlock, Michigan, number 17, Neil Marsh. On the inside of row 4, they call him Mullet. It's from Richmond, Texas. And they call him Mullet because he rocks the mullet. Man, he's got a Fu Manchu that rivals the 17 of Dylan Anderson, one from the Formula One class. But in the 8th position, on the inside of row 4, the 69 Cole Waring, sorry, the outside of row 4. On the inside of row 5, and that number 26 machine out of Richmond, Texas, the 26 of Briston Sherman. And rounding out the field at 80 years young, they call him Scary Jerry, running for McLean Trailers, number 10, Jerry Rinker. All right, we're going to see these boats go 2 by 2 down the backstretch. They're going to come around, and once you see that jet ski peel off, oh, I apologize, in the 11th position, last off the pack is the number DD1, the DD1 of Andy Miller, running in that Rockin' SM Services machine. A rookie here, his first race in 2023. We're going to get him all lined up there 2 by 2. Looks like the DD1 of Andy Miller hanging way back off the pace. I don't know what's going on with him. He better get up there.
Yeah. Make sure. What? You got to both DD1s dead down. Just making sure you're aware of them.
All right, they bringing them down to the north end of the course. Again, tri-hulls. We run a 2-pin course here for the Texas Tri-Hull in this Rolling Star. You're going to see 5, 6, 7, 8 boats wide in the corners here. It's all about how you can get in and out of the corners in Texas Tri-Hull and who's going to be able to pull it off here in the first of 4 qualifying heats. So instead of fast lap qualifiers in Tri-Hull, we shift them to a 4th qualifying heat. And again, just like we do in Formula Lights and we do in Formula One, right, we flip that script. So whoever collects the most points in Heat 1 will go to the back of the pack in Heat 2. Whoever has the most points after Heat 2 goes to the back of the pack in Heat 3, and so on until we set our starting grid for the main event in Tri-Hull tomorrow in the late morning, early afternoon. All right, they go 2 by 2 down the back stretch, down the front stretch here. There goes, peels off the jet ski, waiting for the flag to drop. And he drops the green flag, and we're underway here in the first of 4 qualifying heats in Tri-Hull. On the inside, your pole sitter, the 13 of Grant Schubert, getting a good hole shot there, as he's going to have that inside line, holding off the 93 of JB Jensen. But here comes the 17. There's the dude sneaking up there with the 52 of Tanner Rinker, the 6 of Dustin Terry, and the 37 of Mason Rinker. Oh, 17 of Marsh gets up on the deck of the 52 of Tanner Rinker. Pushing hard now. Here comes the 6 of Dustin Terry, looking to take down to the inside the 93 of JB Jensen and see if he can't get into a battle with the 13 of Grant Schubert. Now Jensen goes down there and says, I don't think so. And the 6, oh, look out there. Jensen spins out in the corner. Bang! The 17 of Neil Marsh slams into him. As we got him wadding up down to the north end of the course, the 6 of Dustin Terry just slid down to the inside, gave a little kiss to the 52 of Tanner Rinker, and scooted right by him there on the north end of the course. Now, oh, watch out, Mason Rinker getting together with the 93 of JB Jensen as they come out of the south end of the course. And these guys are all over the place here on the shores of Grand Lake. That's why we call it bumper boats at 65 miles an hour. As our leader, the 13 of Grant Schubert, comes off of turn number 1. Whoa, getting a big air as he comes out there. Now look out. The 6 of Terry. Then it's followed by the 17 of Neil Marsh in third. In fourth, the 26 of Briston Sherman. What a move by that young man. And then here comes the 88 of Josh Wells as that 93 of JB Jensen looks like he's struggling with some motor issues. And oh no, 2 of the Rinkers, 3 struggling down in the corner. Now we got a battle for first. On the inside, it's the 6 of Dustin Terry. On the outside, it's the 13 of Grant Schubert. Ladies and gentlemen, after a multi-year hiatus from Tri-Hull, the 6 of Terry is pushing for the lead here in the first of 4 qualifying heats. Could he be the dark horse and come out of nowhere this weekend and take home top spot on the podium? Not if the 13 of Grant Schubert has anything to say about it. He goes tight to the inside. Now, bang! He hammers the 6 of Dustin Terry. He's like, hey, 2 can play that game, dude. You're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you. And I know what this thing can handle. And that's since it's the first time you've been in that boat in a real long time. Let's see if you know what to do when you get hit down in the corner. Now the 6 of Terry goes tight and cuts the door. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a new leader outright. Out in front now, starting third, and now moving his way up to the top spot. The 6 of Dustin Terry is now looking to drive away from the rest of the field. There's the 17 of Neil Marsh. Don't count him out as those 2 were battling out. The dude was able to sneakily move his way up into third position. Again, he's your points leader so far in 2023. The 13 of Grant Schubert's going to need to do some damage this weekend if he wants to catch him. But what a battle those 2 are doing. Some great footage there. There's the 17 of Neil Marsh going down the back stretch. Now he's making his way into the turn. As I don't know what happened to the 52 of Tanner Rinker, but boy, he has really fallen way off the pace after getting together with the 17 of Neil Marsh on the opening lap. There's the 17, the dude, your reigning Formula One Powerboat Championship Tri-Hull champion. But nobody's got an answer for the 6 of Dustin Terry. Holy cow, is that young man just absolutely boogieing out there with that Ameristar roofing machine. All right, we got one lap remaining here as the 6 of Dustin Terry takes the white flag. Go fast, turn left just a couple more times for the Houma, Louisiana native. Can he take his first Tri-Hull qualifying heat in the better part of 3 years? There you see the 37 of Mason Rinker dead in the water down there at the south end of the course. That's got to be frustrating for that young man. But the one who's not frustrated right now is the 6 of Dustin Terry. There goes 17 of Neil Marsh in third. Then the 26 of Briston Sherman in fourth. Great run by the young rookie, the 26 of Briston Sherman. But here comes our leader out of the north end of the course, going way wide to the outside, trying to keep those RPMs up. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Taking the first of 4 qualifying heats in Tri-Hull, number 6, Dustin Terry. And in second, the 13 of Grant Schubert. Third, the 17 of Neil Marsh. Fourth, the 26 of Briston Sherman. What a great run for that rookie. Fifth, the 93 of J.B. Jensen. Sixth, the 69 of Cole Waring. Seventh, the 10 of Jerry Rinker. Eighth is the 10 of Terry Rinker. Ninth, the 88 of Josh Wells. 10, the 52 of Tanner Rinker. And then the 37 of Mason Rinker, who went dead down in turn number 1, and rounding out the field, rookie out of Disney, Oklahoma, right here on the shores of Grand Lake, the DD1 of Andy Miller. Great run there by the 6 of Dustin Terry. All right, well, hopefully we're going to have a chance to chat with the 6 of Dustin Terry, but boy, we had some chaos as we normally do there in Texas Tri-Hull. Let's take a look at a replay early on. There was some pandemonium down in the corner. Well, look at that. The 6 of Terry just pushed the 93 of Jensen wide. Jensen tried to hang on. Bang! There goes the 17 of Neil Marsh into the 93 of Jensen. Then we got 4 boats that have got to avoid him there. Here we go. Oh! Jensen almost gets together with the 52 of Tanner Rinker, and they run it all the way down the front stretch. But boy, what a run it was there for the 6 of Dustin Terry. Was hoping to have a chance to chat with him, but pulling double duty here at Grand Lake. He's got to jump back in his Formula One machine for their first of 3 qualifying heats, as we're going to get the Formula Ones loaded back into the water here as we continue the opening day of the inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQ here on Grand Lake in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. Again, we wouldn't be able to do this without the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors. Right, and you see on the screen there, Mid-America Outdoors, located just south of Grand Lake here in Jay, Oklahoma. Boy, what's amazing things this organization is doing. We actually are partnering with them here for 2 events in 2023. Don't forget, we wrap up our 2023 season the end of October. Halloween weekend for the Legends of Havasu in beautiful Lake Havasu City, Arizona. We're going to be there with bull riders, side-by-side racing, and essentially a whole weekend of super fun adult playground activities, all brought to us by the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors. And, you know, some of their great sponsors, the great folks at Good Boy Vodka. Check out Good Boy Vodka and find your local retailer. They have actually partnered with a couple of organizations to help pups, right? So every time you buy Good Boy Vodka, they're going to donate money to charities that help provide dogs to military veterans dealing with post-traumatic stress syndrome. So you got to love the great folks at Good Boy Vodka. They're heavily invested in Mid-America Outdoors. They're heavily invested in boat racing, and we appreciate the great folks at Good Boy Vodka. And then there's Can-Am. Your Can-Am side-by-sides and all a great family of products from the great folks at Can-Am, the great partner of Mid-America Outdoors. And Ultimax Belts. The safest belts, performance belts by Timken, the #1 choice for belts in all your side-by-sides and off-road vehicles. Again, the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors and their awesome partners here, bringing us to Grand Lake in 2023 here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. All proceeds going to local charities here in Northeast Oklahoma. So wherever you are from in the area, if you made your way down from Joplin, thanks for coming down and hanging out. If you made your way up from Tulsa, we're super happy that you're here. And we're super excited to be able to be part of an event that gives back so much to the community from the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Thank our Formula One Powerboat Championship sponsors here. We'll be right back with the first of 3 qualifying heats in the Formula One class here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
All right, welcome back, race fans. We've got about half the field loaded in the water here for our first of 3 qualifying heats here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. Again, all proceeds benefiting nonprofits here locally from Community Crisis Center, Delaware County Children's Special Advocacy Network, Grand Nation, Grand Warriors Club, Grove Rotary Foundation, Harbor Village Museum, Lendenwood Gardens, Oasis Animal Adventures, Second Chance Pet Rescue, and Teen Challenge of Oklahoma Adolescent Centers. These great nonprofit partners are going to benefit immensely. So if you're here, wherever you're watching from, if you hop in the car, even if it's an hour or two, come on down to beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. We've got concerts tonight. We've got concerts tomorrow. Tonight, Brett Michaels, formerly of Poison, rocking the doors off of Grand Lake here tonight. And we've got Kansas City barbecue competitions going on all weekend long. You can pick up a $10 plate and taste some pulled pork today, some Outlaw Chef's Choice tomorrow. They're going to be smoking ribs and brisket and all the delicious things that you see in a typical Kansas City barbecue competition. But we also got to thank the city of Grove, Oklahoma. We understand this is a big undertaking, especially on Labor Day weekend, to close down part of a lake that has heavy boat traffic. As we can see, some of our boats starting to line up, our pleasure boats, to watch there on the west side of the course. And again, right, we hope the place is lined up with spectators all day. And as we take down our race course, after racing concludes today, all those boats are going to come down and ascend down in front of the stage here. Again, no boat, no problem. Don't worry about it. Bring your swimsuit, bring a raft. You can float your way down to view from the water or on land. There's going to be plenty of room to be able to watch from the land as well. Super excited for the great event we got going on all day long. But I'd love to take a look at our fast lap qualifiers from earlier today, as we had the 3 groups, right? So we didn't have them mushed together. And I want to go through and take a look at what ended up transpiring. Boy. So your pole sitter for qualifying heat number 1, a 31.440. Almost 2 full seconds faster than anybody, the Tenatary Rinker. Now that is dirty fast. He was absolutely screaming out there. Second off the start pontoon, boy. This is going to be an interesting story. For those of you who watch Tunnel Boat Racing, this is a repeat of Formula One 50 National Championship last weekend at Springfield, Ohio. The Tenatary Rinker and the 52 of Chris Rinker were side by side coming off the pole. After turn 1, both the Tenatary Rinker and the 52 of Chris Rinker were knocked out of the first qualifying heat. The Tenatary Rinker knocked out of the weekend of racing altogether. Is there some bad blood starting between the Rinker clan? Could there be a wedge driven between Phase 3 Performance and Rinker Racing? We're going to find out here in our first of 3 qualifying heats in just a few minutes. Third off the start pontoon, the highest qualifying APX 4-stroke competition Mercury outboard with a 33.787, 0.3 of a second off the pace of the second place boat. So those haters out there who think 2-stroke from the past is the way to the future, he's got a year. These guys have 30 years in those 2-strokes. He's had a year with a 4-stroke on the back, and he finds himself third off the start pontoon, and he won the 190, Dustin Terry. And I told you earlier, I was impressed with him. And, man, he could find himself on the podium, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend. 4th with a fast lap qualifier of 33.871. Less than a tenth of a second behind 3rd, the 59 of Tyler Welch. Then it's the 24 of Spencer Love with a 33.915. And then a 17 of Dylan Anderson with a 33.990. The 8 of Mayo with a 34.072. The 94 of Rusty Wyatt with a 34.820. All the way down. So we've got from 2nd to 13th. 2nd to 13th. Less than 1.5 seconds. Excuse me. Yes, less than 1.5, almost a second. A little less than 1.5 seconds from 2nd to 13th on the start grid here in the first qualifying. You know what that means? That's going to mean we're going to have some deck-to-deck, wall-to-wall racing action here in Formula One. That's going to be something the likes of the folks of Grove, Oklahoma and Grand Lake have ever seen before. As our Formula One machines get ready to do battle here in the first of 3 qualifying heats, you're going to see them run a hot lap. And then we're going to bring them all the way down in front of the spectators area. And from the beach down there, you're going to see our modified Le Mans start. For those of you locally here in Grove, you've probably never seen a modified Le Mans start. Let me explain to you a little bit of how it works. The modified Le Mans start, we'll see a flare shoot off 1 minute. I will count down in 10-second increments until we get to 20 seconds. Once we get to 20 seconds, you are going to see our starter on the course drop an orange flag. The second he starts moving that flag, you're going to see these Formula Ones come roaring to life. You're going to see them come through the middle of the course, all the way down to the far north end, through turns 3 and turns 4, and then down the front straightaway to start lap 1 of 6 minutes, plus 1 lap in this first of 3 qualifying heats. So sorry, it's 8 minutes plus 1 lap here, here in the first of 3 qualifying heats. So we've just got the last couple of boats on the water here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've got everybody on the water. I think we're just waiting. Our rescue crew had to assist the 37 of Mason Rinker and get his boat on the trailer after it went dead down in turn number 1 in the opening qualifying heat in Tri-Hull. So it looks like also our rookie, the DD1 of Andy Miller, having some issues in that brand new Tri-Hull to him, the man from Disney, Oklahoma. So we got a local race in here on Grand Lake. So all you folks here in Grove, make sure you're hooting and hollering for the Tri-Hulls and your local man from Disney who spends his summers enjoying the beautiful what Grand Lake has to offer. I guess we're far enough south. You guys probably get to enjoy the lakes down here all year long. Again, being from Minnesota, the way we utilize our lakes in Minnesota from summer to winter are drastically different, right? In the wintertime, we're drilling holes in the ice, putting makeshift shacks and tents on the ice to do some fishing. We're definitely not running a boat, maybe a snowmobile or 2. But here in Oklahoma, you guys probably get to use Grand Lake all year long, which is awesome. And I had a chance to talk to the rookie Andy Miller, and he's very excited to be a part of the Formula One Powerboat Championships. Former offshore racer, racing with OPA for numerous years in classes 4, 5, and 6. Now moving over to the OPC, or Outboard Performance Craft division of the American Powerboat Association, which is the banner that we run under, or the division of the APBA that we run under here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series.
Copy that.
All right, we've got them on the water ready to go.
Green flag, hot lap. Hot lap. Down there. Yeah, go down there. I didn't copy that. We're going to do a test flag. If they can't see you, we'll have to go to plan B, and that's Marty. Copy that. Marty, go get that flag from down.
All right, we have got them all on the water. We're getting ready for some hot laps here, get those motors warmed up, right? Again, so many of our competitors still running the Mercury V6 outboard that has been the predominant and dominant force in tunnel boat racing for the better part of 3 decades. As you can see there, as we can see, let's take a look at our starting grid here. All right. And we'll take a look at, again, our starting order here for qualifying heat number 1 here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. Again, on the pole, the veteran, multi-time world and national champion out of Tampa, Florida, running for Phase 3 performance, the number 10 of Terry Rinker. His new arch nemesis and relative. Can they get through clean in turn one after they wadded each other up last weekend at the American Powerboat Association National Championships, coming second off the start pontoon? They call him the real deal. He's your reigning national champion, number 52, Chris Rinker. Again, impressive performance. That APX four-stroke competition Mercury outboard coming third. Hashtag Mercury Racing and that APX. I know the guys back in Oshkosh are excited as they see that APX continue to move itself up the rankings in Formula One. But coming third off the start pontoon here in qualifying heat number one, the 190 of Dustin Terry. Fourth off the start pontoon, this young man and I lived about 10 minutes apart from one another back in Minneapolis. He resides in a suburb of Wayzata, Minnesota. A lifelong powerboat racer, the son of a powerboat racer. Actually, him and his father are both racing here today, but fourth off the start pontoon, running for WYSIWYG. And Docks Tile and Restoration, number 59, Tyler Welch. Fifth off the start pontoon, one half of the Clover Construction team. Out of Santa Rosa Valley, California, number 24, Spencer Love. Sixth off the start pontoon out of Nashville, Tennessee. Struggled in round two, blowing it over down the front stretch about halfway through the main event. Now starting sixth here in heat one. Can he have a redemption weekend? We call him Mike Honcho because of that beautiful mustache. If you had a chance to meet him, it is one of the most luscious Fu Manchus you might have ever seen. But coming sixth off the start pontoon, the number 17 of Dylan Anderson. Seventh off the start pontoon, the other half of the Phase 3 performance team. When he goes by you, he says, hey, get out of my way. We call him Jeremiah Get Out of My Way Mayo in that number 8 Phase 3 performance machine, starting seventh off the start dock. The winner from round two, going to have some ground to make up. He had to swap motors last night, had to do some hardship testing this morning because he had no time on that motor after they think they had some technical issues or some gremlins, as it were, inside that 2.5 Mercury V6 outboard. But coming eighth off the start pontoon out of Innisfil, Ontario, Canada, running for crystal clear wiper blades, number 94, Rusty Wyatt. Ninth off the start pontoon, running for Fleming Manufacturing out of the Woodlands, Texas. Now here's a guy that can be sneaky good, could find himself sneaking his way up onto the podium. So he's quiet, right? He's a real reserved guy, real quiet guy. So you don't really see him out there. He doesn't make a lot of noise. He doesn't run his mouth. He just goes to work. And that's what I love the most about this driver. He's just a hard-working, no-nonsense, go-to-work type of guy. And that's what I think is going to be needed here because we've got very little wind. We've got really good racing conditions. Coming ninth off the start pontoon in the number 9 machine, Johnny Fleming. In the 10th off the start pontoon, the other half of the Clover Construction team in that number 12 out of Moore Park, California, running that Hoffman Formula One composite, number 12 of Sean Love. 11th off the start pontoon, again, more motor issues yesterday. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, the 9 of Johnny Fleming's having to get pushed in, but let's finish our starting grid here. We'll see if the 9 of Fleming can figure it out. But it looks like he's taking his helmet off. It might be folding it in here for qualifying heat one, which is frustrating for the 9 of Johnny Fleming. Looks like we got a broken steering cable on the 9 of Johnny Fleming, and that's going to put him out of heat number 1. You can't turn the boat if you can't steer it. There you see there. It just wrapped up, and that cable's laying on the deck. Boy, that's going to be frustrating. You know, you ever have those guys that you want to root for, you want to cheer for? They're great people, and just everything that could go wrong does go wrong. Boy, if he doesn't have the worst case of Murphy's Law here in 23. But let's take a look at the last couple of spots here on the podium. Starting 12th, the other half of the Welch Racing team, running again for Docks Tile and Restoration, the number 85, Mark Welch. In 13th, another one of those APX competition 4 strokes, that chartreuse in black composite craft with the number 99 at Travis Yates behind the wheel, starts 13th. And rounding out the field here, the 4th edition of the Outlaw F1 team running for Hertz Audio, and another APX competition 4-stroke Mercury on the back, the number 15 of Tim Kraft. All right, looks like we've got most of them lined up there on the start pontoon. Again, this modified Le Mans start, for those of you here in Grove, we're going to start with 1 minute. We're going to see a flare go up. Once that flare goes up, yours truly is going to count down from 1 minute to 20 seconds in 10-second increments. So 1 minute, 50, 40, 30, 20. When I go 20, you're going to see this gray boat out here in the middle of the race course, right? With we've got the camera shot right on it right now. That's going to be, we're going to have our starter out there. He's going to raise a big orange flag. As soon as he even wiggles a part of that flag, you're going to hear these motors come roaring to life. Those boats are completely shut off. There is no power to that engine. Different than a Le Mans start, let's say in Formula One, where they're on but not in gear. Well, here's the difference. We don't have a transmission. It's go or stop. That's how we roll. We run Formula One tunnel boat racing where you mash that accelerator as hard as you can to the floor, you trim that motor out, and you fly it high and run it through the middle of the course and see what happens down at the far end as we're going to get ready for our first of 3 qualifying heats. We got 2 of them today, 1 more tomorrow morning, and then our main event tomorrow afternoon as we look to crown a champion. The inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQ here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. Again, all proceeds of Boats, Beats, and BBQ benefiting a host of local charities here in the Grove area. Looks like, are they giving the 9 of Johnny Fleming an opportunity? I don't know if he's going to have enough time to restring that steering bar. Looks like, no, he's out of the cockpit. And he's got suit off, so he's going to have to hopefully try to have a great qualifying heat number 2 to gain some points that he will have lost here in qualifying heat number 1. All right, just waiting to make sure everybody's lined up and proper spacing between our Formula One boats there as they're on the beach. Just south down way at the far end, right in front of all our spectators here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ. Getting ready to roll here for qualifying heat number 1. Will it be the 10 of Terry Rinker? Or will he get into it again with the 52 of Chris Rinker? Can they stay clean through the first turn here in qualifying heat number 1? Will the 59 of Tyler Welch come out of nowhere and surprise everybody as the dark horse and make it to that first turn? Because clean water in tunnel boat racing is the most imperative thing. Because unlike a car that has cement or tar to grip those rubber tires to, the only way we create power is by that prop spinning in the water and creating that torque. Well, if you drive through the wash of somebody in front of you, all that stuff has been, the water's been churned up. All right, here, coming up on the 1 minute gun. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Will the 10 of Terry Rinker be able to get out and use that whole shot to his advantage here in qualifying heat number 1? 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Or will it be the 52 of Chris Rinker? Or the 190 of Dustin Terry? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Or could that WYSIWYG Welch Racing Machine with Tyler Welch behind the wheel of the 59 come off the dock like a rocket? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Or could we see the likes of Dylan Anderson, Jeremiah Mayo, Spencer Love, and the host of talented drivers here? Let's see who's going to win heat number 1. 20 seconds, drivers. You're under starters orders. The flag is up. He drops the flag, and they come roaring to life. Great jump there by the 52 of Chris Rinker, as well as the 59 of Tyler. No, excuse me. That's the 24 of Spencer Love. What happened to Welch and the 190 of Dustin Terry as they go through the middle of the course? Oh, no, something's really wrong with the 59 of Tyler Welch, but here we go. Down the back straight, through turns 3 and 4, and that will start lap 1 of this 8 minutes plus 1 lap qualifying heat here in Formula One, the 10 of Terry Rinker. He's got it dialed in and screaming. Look at him lay down the nose of that Hoffman Hall. 110, 115 plus miles an hour as he crosses the start-finish line to start lap 1. The 24 of Spencer Love's now moved himself up from 5th to 3rd position, getting by the 59 of Welch and the 190 Dustin. Oh, watch out there. Terry goes through the wake of the 24 of Love and almost cuts off the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Now here comes the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, and the 13 of Grant Schubert comes sneaking up as they are all battling for points here in heat number 1. But right now, it's the 10 of Terry Rinker out in front there. You see the battle. There's the 8 of Mayo on the inside, the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Oh, look out there right behind there. We almost saw the 94 of Rusty Wyatt get together with the 59 of Tyler Welch and the 13 of Grant Schubert. Continue to push hard. There's the 17 of Anderson, goes down in the corner. Our leader now already out of turns 1 and 2, now working his way back down to the north end of the course. Into turn 3, he's starting to stretch out a lead, but we got a battle going. Fourth, 5th, and 6th. There you see the 17 of Anderson, the 190 of Terry, and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo right on top of each other, fighting for 4th, 5th, and 6th. These points are so crucial here in these qualifying heats because you get 50 points for winning qualifying. You get 150 points for winning the final for the season standing. So you need to do well in all qualifying heats and the final to really collect the most points for that season championship. There's the 13 of Schubert and the 8 of Mayo going in tight into the corner, as it looks like the 190 and the 17 of Anderson is starting to pull away from those two drivers from Richmond, Texas. Look at the 8 of Mayo just taking a face full of wash from the 13 of Schubert. Schubert driving them all over the race course. Now sneaking up here into the conversation, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. There we see the 52 of Chris Rinker come off the left corner there. Here he comes out of turn number 4. Then it's the 24 of Spencer Love. Oh, look out, the battle between the 190 of Dustin Terry and down tight to the inside, the 17 of Dylan Anderson. We got a dogfight for 4th here in the early stages of this first of 3 qualifying heats here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue at this inaugural event on beautiful Grand Lake in Grove, Oklahoma. The 190 Terry now having to go tight to the inside. What a great job. He's driving the 17 of Anderson all over the course. Anderson's having to go inside, outside, and that's really not allowing him to make up the ground necessary to get by the 190 of Dustin Terry. As there's the 13 of Schubert, just continuing to push the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. You know, these guys are friends off the race course, but they might start not being friends in the pits anymore because the 13 of Grant Schubert is driving the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo all over the race course. He has got to be screaming mad inside the cockpit of that Hoffman Formula One. As, hey, you know, 13 of Grant Schubert's like, well, it's simple, man. Just get by me, and you don't got to worry about me driving you all over the course. The man driving, and then we've got another driver driving somebody else all over the course, and that's the 190 Dustin Terry hanging into 4th position. And he's been driving the 17 of Tillman Anderson all over the course. And this is exactly what the 10 of Rinker and the 52 of Chris Rinker want. They want those guys battling with each other so they can kind of pull away. Because, again, if you're tied in points, total elapsed lap times through your 3 qualifying heats are what's going to separate you. So the 10 of Rinker is trying to pull away, and pull away hard. So is the 52 of Chris Rinker. There you see the 94 of Rusty Wyatt starting to sneak up on the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, and he's holding off the 59 of Tyler Welch. As they go down into the north end of the course there's Welch. Mayo comes off the corner. Excuse me, that's not Welch. That's the 94 of Wyatt. Wyatt's got to figure somehow. There's the 15 of Tim Kraft. He's struggling a little bit here with that APX. Again, first weekend behind the wheel of that 4-stroke, so struggling a little bit to get the setup figured out. But going down tight to the inside of him's the 190 of Dustin Terry. And can the 17 of Anderson get by Kraft? He's fighting hard going down the inside lane. Kraft moving to the outside, allowing him to get by. But boy, what a great run so far by the 190 of Dustin Terry. I mean, that APX 4-stroke, they're still learning how to get that thing to come off the beach as well as the 2.5s. I think that's a known thing for everybody, right? The 4-strokes just, they don't have the ability because they're a 4-stroke motor to fire as quickly, but he's got that Black Beauty 190 Ameristar roofing machine dancing all over here on the shores of Grand Lake, and he's hanging on to 4th position. But boy, looks like we've got our timing might be a little goofed up there. I apologize, but yeah, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo is not in 3rd position. He's all the way back in 7th position behind the 13 of Grant Schubert. All right, looks like they're looking into some technical difficulties on that score on the transponder, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, but he's still back in 7th. But here comes the 17 of Anderson. We got a battle going on between these two that just continues to dogfight, and it looks like what happened to the 13 of Grant Schubert. The 13 of Grant Schubert, did he go dead in the water? Man, we focused on this battle between the 190 of Terry and the 17 of Dylan Anderson. And now here comes the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo up into the conversation because he doesn't have the 13 of Grant Schubert. pushing them all over the race course. I'm trying to find where the young man from Richmond, Texas is, and I cannot find him out here on the shores of Grand Lake. Boy, that's unfortunate because, you know, he was having a heck of a good time driving his friend and competitor, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, all over the race course. And I think he could have kept him at bay the rest of the race if he wouldn't have had some technical difficulties. But, man, that's got to be frustrating. He grenaded a motor or blew one up yesterday. I had to put the backup motor on, and hopefully he's not going to a third motor here in 2 days. But the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo now going down to the inside. Look at this battle we've got for 4th, 5th, and 6th. We got a doozy of a battle going on, as the 190 is on the outside, the 17 of Dylan Anderson on the inside, and the 8 of Mayo way wide to the outside there as they all try to find clean water. Now, Mayo's got to stay out in lane 3. Now they're going to have some back markers to contend with as the 190 is looking to get by the 95. Docks Tile and Restoration of Mark Welch, but look at that overhead shot. The 8 of Mayo just getting washed down, cutting through the spray of the 17 of Anderson. Now he's going to go to the inside lane. Are they going to leave him a lane? He's trying to get down to the inside of Anderson. No, Anderson cuts him off and shuts the door, and he's got to cross back through the wake. Great job there by the 17 of Dylan Anderson, fighting hard to hold the hard-charging Jeremiah, get out of my way Mayo at bay here in this first 3 qualifying heats. 1 minute plus 1 lap remaining here. It has been the Terry Rinker Show. The 10 of Terry Rinker has been the man to beat all day long as he's now eyeing up another back marker. He flashes right there in front of us. He's got probably just a couple of laps left here on this main event, but boy, that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th as the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo got by the 17 of Dylan Anderson. This young man's coming out of nowhere in the late stages of qualifying. He won. Can he catch the 190 of Dustin Terry as they go to turns 3 and 4? There's the 8 of Mayo on the outside. Terry's on the inside. Now, can he use that back marker as a pick? What's going to happen? That's the 99 of Travis Yates. Goes way wide to the outside. Terry goes down tight. Mayo cuts into lane 2, trying to find some clean water. We're going to have a doozy of battle all the way to the finish here in qualifying heat number 1 for 4th, 5th, and 6th. That has been an absolute battle. Here comes the 94 of Rusty Wyatt up into the conversation. He's going to try to get by the 17 of Dylan Anderson as they go down into turn 3. We've got 4 boats from 4th to 8th, all on top of one another. The 17 of Anderson must have some problems. Here comes the 94 of Wyatt, as he's now up on top of the deck of the 17 of Anderson. The 8 of Mayo gets by the 99 of Travis Yates, putting him further down the starting order here. But the 190 of Dustin Terry doing a great job. There we go. White flag is out. Go fast. Turn left for the 10 of Terry Rinker. As our 10 of Terry Rinker goes down into the turns numbers 1 and 2, you see that pack of boats fighting for 4th to 8th. Let's find our leader, the 10 of Terry Rinker, as he goes down the backstretch now. There he goes, getting by the 12 of Sean Love. Oh, excuse me, that's the 15 of Tim Kraft. But he goes down on a turn number 3. The 52 of Chris Rinker has done a great job of hanging with him, even though the 10 of Rinker had the whole shot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you put your hands together. Going to wire here in heat number 1 out of Tampa, Florida. Number 10, Terry Rinker. Finishing in second, just about a second behind him, the 52 McLean Trailers Rinker Boat World of Chris Rinker. In third position, now let's scoot in third position, the 24 of Spencer Love. In fourth position, the 190 Dustin Terry. In fifth, the 8 of Mayo. In sixth, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. And then in seventh, the 17 of Dylan Anderson. What happened to the Anderson Marine machine of Dylan Anderson? This young man is normally a force to be reckoned with, but he gave up 3 spots in the last 4 laps of this first qualifying heat. Boy, but a great run there by the 10 of Terry Rinker. What a great run there by the 10 of Terry Rinker, and a solid job by the 52 of Chris Rinker to hang with him. Those two really kind of separated away. Right behind them, the 24 of Spencer Love. But what a battle that was for 4th through 8th. Sorry about that, folks. Had a tickle in my throat this morning. I ate a bug a little bit earlier. Not on purpose, but I've been struggling with that so far here. Hopefully we can get a chance to talk to the 10 of Terry Rinker and have a chance to get him down here on the start pontoon and chat with him about what it was like to go wire to wire there in heat number 1. All right, it looks like the 13 of Grant Schubert's getting towed in. But boy, what a run it was for Terry Rinker. You see there, he finishes 4 seconds, a little less than 3.5 seconds ahead of the 52 of Chris Rinker. And then I don't know why the 8 of Mayo was up there, but a little bit further behind was Spencer Love. Then you look at that Dustin Terry, Rusty Wyatt, Dylan Anderson. 9:15, 9:18, 9:20. I mean, they were just in 9:21 there by the 59 of Tyler Wedge. They're just all over one another in that mid-pack battle. And we see a ton of that stuff, right? Clean water is so important in tunnel boat racing that sometimes you'll see those top couple of boats really start to separate themselves from the rest of the field. And those mid-pack battles, though, can be absolutely brutal in the Formula One class. And we saw a great battle by the 190 of Dustin Terry, the 17 of Dylan Anderson, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, and the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. After kind of hanging back for most of that heat, he made his way up into the conversation and did a good job of collecting himself some extra points there in qualifying heat number 1. And now for their second heat, remember, we're going to flip that script. Worst goes to first, first goes to worst. So now Rinker's going to have to start 14th off the start pontoon and work his way through the traffic. That's going to be the real test, right? Can he do that again? Or will the 52 of Chris Rinker be able to do a better job of that? Because he's going to be one spot closer to the start pontoon, to the top spot on the podium at the start pontoon for heat number 2. Or could it be the 190 of Dustin Terry? Again, if he can get a good enough jump, that 4-stroke's got some stupid top-end power. I mean, he was screaming out there, and what a heck of a job he did. I mean, he kept 4 top competitors at bay for the bulk of that qualifying heat. And boy, he's going to have his hands full, but I think Dustin likes it like that. And joining me now is going to be the man who won heat number 1. All right, joining me now, the man who took qualifying heat number 1. Well, a little bit different than a week ago. You made it through the first turn. No more bad blood between you and your cuz Chris. He gave you a lane, and boy, you ran that thing wire to wire. Got to feel good to get back out and actually finish a qualifying heat, unlike last weekend. Huh, Terry?
First heat last weekend was not fun. Fortunately, we got out there the way we wanted to. Great time trial lap to get on the pole, and motor fired and got us out there where we needed to be. And thanks for Chris for the lane, and thanks to Ashton and all my crew calling the race. I mean, it was just an excellent job by everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You go wire to wire, and you know that this is the easy part of qualifying in the F1 Powerboat Championships. Next heat, now you're going to have to go last off the start pontoon. What's that going to be like with the guys like Chris Rinker, Dylan Anderson, your teammate Jeremiah Mayo, the 190 of Dustin Terry? Boy, they were slugging it out. What are you going to have to do to work your way all the way through the pack to try to continue to gain points and secure that pole position for our main event tomorrow?
Yeah, no doubt it's been tough coming from the back. I've had over 40 years of experience getting through that stuff, so I think I can use that knowledge to get through it safely, and work our way towards the front.
Right on, man. Well, hey, we'll let you get back. We know you got a jam-packed, busy day. I don't know. You're always tinkering and working on that machine to try to push it to the limit and get it better. But congratulations for another heat win on the way to potentially your inaugural win here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue.
That would be great. Thank you.
Right on. That's the 10 of Terry Rinker, your winner from qualifying heat number 1. Going wire to wire. Can he do that same thing in heat 2? That's a tall order. That's going to be a tall order for the 10 of Terry Rinker. But he, like he said, 40 years experience doing this. He's glad that he got left the lane this time. Last weekend, he wasn't as fortunate as they wadded up and both ended upside down in the first qualifying heat. The APBA National Championships, again, not a series race, but the American Powerboat Association, our governing body, puts on a race weekend once per year for national championships in our division. All right, and boy, where I was really surprised there in Heat 1, to be honest, what happened to the 59 of Tyler Welch on that start? He did so well in fast lap qualifiers. He qualified 4th. He found himself in 9th before he finished the first lap. He just didn't fire off the beach. There you see his teammate and father, the 95 of Mark Welch, still waiting to get pulled in. Actually, so there's the 95 of Mark Welch, but I was really surprised. You know, I'm going to talk to Tyler later today after we get done racing. I got to find out what the heck happened, and I'll hopefully relay some of that information back to you folks for tomorrow. But, yeah, the 59 of Tyler Welch, kind of a disappointment there in qualifying heat number 1. I think he had a shot to find a top 3 spot. I think he definitely could have beaten the 24 of Spencer Love down there if he would have had everything go his way or go right. I don't know necessarily what happened down there. And, you know, but the big frustration has got to be the 13 of Grant Schubert. I mean, that young man was absolutely boogieing, and the motor just went away on him. He ended up having to get pushed in from down near the start beach. He kind of pulled off the race course. But hopefully the gremlins or the issue that has caused that is only going to be short-lived for the 13 of Grant Schubert. But coming up next, we've got the Formula Lights in their first of 3 qualifying heats here at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue on Grand Lake. We'll be right back with more racing action here at the 3rd round of the 2023 Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Boats, Beats, and Barbecue here on Grand Lake in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
All right, race fans, welcome back. Sorry about that. I had to use the facilities here and been down here since about 7:30 this morning. So had to take a quick break myself and get back here on the mic so I can give you guys the rest of the live play-by-play, blow-by-blow action here all weekend long at Boats, Beats, and Barbecue. As we've got our first of 3 Formula Light qualifying heats, and we're going to take a look at how the fast lap qualifiers finished out in Formula Lights. Your reigning Formula Light champion on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, laying down a 30.655, will be the man on the pole here in Heat 1, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. In second with a 30.686. So that's what? 3/1000ths of a second behind our pole sitter, the 21 of Jose Mendaña Jr., part of that Mike Scott Plumbing Racing team. Oh, and here we go. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Again, the 35 of Schmierbach on the pole, followed by the 21 of Mendaña. Can he get off the beach? That's been his gremlin all year long. 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Third off the start pontoon, the other half of the Mike Scott Plumbing team, the 27 of Steve Lee. 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Fourth off the start pontoon, the man out of Denver, Colorado, running for Go Boat Racing, the 29 of Jared Jensen. 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. And then it's the 14 of Tyler Peterson and the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster. The top 5 boats within less than a second of one another. Who's going to take Heat 1? 20 seconds, drivers, you're under starters orders. The flag is up. He drops the flag. They come taking off from the beach here. Who's going to get the jump? Oh, boy, it looks like the 29 of Jensen gets absolutely buried. Oh, the 35 of Schmierbach porpoising a little bit. That's not good because the 21 of Mendaña's got some top speed as they go down the backstretch. Now here comes the 14 of Tyler Peterson gaining some ground on the 27 of Steve Lee as they go down into turn number 3. Oh, look out there. Peterson almost turns into the back right corner of Lee. Now here comes the 29 of Jensen up into the conversation. But it is Mark Schmierbach out in front starting to open up a lead. Then the 21 of Mendaña, the 27 of Lee, and the 14 of Peterson and the 29 of Jared Jensen are doing battle there for 4th. Jensen's got to go down through the wash of the 14 of Peterson. Now Peterson climbing up on top of the 27 of Lee as he's got to cut back down to the outside. But it is all Mark Schmierbach, man. Boy, I tell you, we have seen a history of those fast lap qualifiers finding pole position in qualifying heat number 1. Really do a good job of getting that whole shot and using it to their advantage. And he's trying to pull away from the rest of the field here in this 6 minutes plus 1 lap qualifying heat here in Formula Lights. The 27 of Steve Lee now doing a good job of holding the 14 of Tyler Peterson at bay. He's giving him that inside line, but as they work their way down the straightaways, he slowly pinches inward, forcing the 14 of Peterson to go over the wake and back out to the outside, which scrubs off any speed that he gained and is allowing the 27 of Lee to stay up in that 3rd position here in qualifying heat number 1. There goes the 21 of Mendaña off turn number 2. Now Lee going to the outside, running right through the wash. Oh boy, he squirrels down to the inside and kind of kicks out a little wash just to scrub up the 14 of Tyler Peterson a little bit. Tyler Peterson running for Latitude Dispensaries out of Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Well, right through the spray. And look at how far the 27 of Lee separates after the 14 of Tyler Peterson just cannot figure out how to get to the outside of that wash quickly enough coming through turn number 4. There's our leader, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach, already off turns 1 and 2, heading north. So the 35 of Schmierbach's continuing to push out in front. Then the 21 of Mendaña. Now he better watch out because his teammate, the 27 of Steve Lee, starting to gain ground in that orange and blue Florida Gators tribute Mike Scott Plumbing machine. There's the 21 of Mendaña in that real short Grand Prix hull. Crazy top end. Struggles off the beach. A little bit better today, but boy, he's struggling to find an answer for the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. And the 21 of Mendaña knows he's got 3 qualifying heats. And again, the next heat is going to be flipping that script. So first goes to worst goes to first. So can he get off the beach well enough and have it come down to that 3rd and final qualifying heat to see who's going to get pole position for our main event tomorrow? Again, they're going to run 2 qualifying heats today, 1 tomorrow, just like we do in Formula 1. And we're going to run 3 Texas Tri-Hall qualifying heats. There's the 27 of Lee going down. The 14 of Peterson kind of hanging with him there, doing a good job. The 29 of Jared Jensen starting to fall off a little bit. As our Formula Lights work down to the north end of the course, here comes the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster. Then there's our leader, the 35 of Schmierbach. Schmierbach, the guy's been dominating Formula Lights for the better part of 2 decades. Really never had a desire to move up into the large boats. He likes these smaller crafts. They're very underpowered. Really, if anybody wants to get into tunnel boat racing, this is where you start. You start here in Formula Lights. It's a great class to help you learn how to drive a boat. Again, these things are running 2-cylinder. 45 cubic inch OMC outboards, 2-cylinder motors doing upwards of 80 plus miles an hour. It's impressive. Now the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster is hanging tight on the inside. This could be what the 21 of Mendana needed as they go down into turn number 1. There you see the 35 of Schmierbach hanging off his back hip. Gildermaster not moving out of the way, but holding his line and allowing 35 of Schmierbach to run wide on the outside. Now we got a battle down there for third, as the 14 of Tyler Peterson has started to creep up on the 27 of Lee. There's the 78 of Gildermaster hugging it tight to the inside, who gets a little too tight there. Almost spins out down in turn number 3. Makes it off of turn 4, but the veteran Schmierbach working it wide to the outside. And here's the battle that we had going on down on the other end of the course just about a half a lap ago. The 14 of Peterson was all over the 27 of Lee. Now he's moved back a little bit, but still just a couple of boat lengths between the man out of Ocala, Florida, running for Mike Scott Plumbing, and the young man from Minnesota running for Latitude Dispensaries in that red Danish-built Molgard Formula Light. Molgard had never had a Formula Light until 2 years ago, and until last year, when the 14 of Tyler Peterson brought this boat, had this boat brought over along with the one driven by the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster, had those shipped over from Denmark. Running the Formula 4 4-stroke series over in Europe. They wanted to see how they were going to compete here in the Formula Lights class, and boy, that 14 machine has done well. Struggled a little bit this weekend, but they put that boat to get back together after a nasty incident at the National Championships. Actually, the 14 of Tyler Peterson, the only boat that was involved in accidents last weekend that was able to make it through. You see there, the 27 of Lee now has got to go wide outside of the 78 of Gildermaster. Now can the 14 of Tyler Peterson use that to advantage, but he gets caught up in a double wash between the 78 of Gildermaster and the 27 of Lee. Now he makes his way up by the 78 of Gildermaster, getting by now. He's still trying to track down the Mike Scott Plumbing team that sits in second and third. But boy, what a great turn off the corner there. And the 14 of Peterson really starting to close the gap. As we see the white flag come out for our leader. As this battle continues, let's stay with the 14 of Peterson and the 27 of Lee. Lee having to go wide to the outside. They're deck to deck down into turn number 3. What's going to happen? Oh, they get up on the decks. Lee leaves him a lane, but he's able to keep the RPMs up with the final lap and stay ahead of the 14 of Peterson. Now Peterson's got to cross through the wake. We got a doozy in that third position battle. Battling for P3. Now the 14 of Peterson knifes it hard down to the inside. He's got the inside line short way around the course. Can the 27 of Lee use the extra RPMs he gained going wide out of turn number 2 to hold off the 14 of Peterson? He does. Now Peterson's got to move it. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner in qualifying heat number 1, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. In second, the 21 of Jose Mendana Jr. And here comes the battle for third. The 14 of Peterson emerges from the spray, going down to the inside, but holding on and taking third in qualifying heat number 1, the 27 of Steve Lee. In fourth, the 14 of Tyler Peterson. In fifth, the 29 of Jared Jensen. And rounding out the field here, the 78 of Marshall Gildermaster. What a great run there by the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. As he runs it wire to wire here in qualifying heat number 1. Doing exactly what the 10 of Terry Rinker did in the Formula 1 class. Again, that's been a consistent theme here on the Formula 1 Powerboat Championship Series. That first qualifying heat, that pole sitter that sets the fast lap seems to be able to run wire to wire. We didn't see that in Texas Tri-Hall, though. That's probably the only place where we don't see that happen as regularly as we do in our other classes. We saw the 6 of Dustin Terry get by the 13 of Grant Schubert on the last couple of laps in that opening qualifying heat in Formula Lights. As we see everybody's come back in. Now coming up next, we're going to bring the Texas Tri-Halls back out for qualifying heat number 2 of 4. before their main event later on today. Again, here, the inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQ. What a great event here in Grove, Oklahoma at Wolf Creek Park on Grand Lake, the lake with the most shoreline in the United States. Boats, Beats, and BBQ presented by Mid-America Outdoors and the city of Grove, Oklahoma, together bringing you this inaugural event on Labor Day weekend on Grand Lake. The event is for the community and benefits the community. All ticket proceeds go to area nonprofit organizations and charities doing work to better the area in various ways. Please join us in supporting these organizations while having a great holiday weekend. Don't forget, at the conclusion of racing today, it's rock night for the Beats portion of Boats, Beats, and BBQ. Dead Metal Society, the Midwest premier 80s hair metal band, is going to be kicking things off with Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles. Second bill on our rock night here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ, former lead guitarist of the Eagles, one of the most popular and influential rock groups of our time. Don has forged an impressive career as a top-tier solo artist and even has successful singles for film scores. And rounding out the rock portion of Boats, Beats, and BBQ, Brett Michaels, formerly of Poison. Fresh off his Stadium Party Gras tour, Brett's bringing the electric show to Boats, Beats, and BBQ. All killer Poison hits and no filler. Tomorrow it's going to be country night with the Aces Wild Band bringing the party everywhere they go. Tim Montana coming second bill. The country rock singer-songwriter has toured with Kid Rock, ZZ Top, and rounding out the Lax. Country rap duo based in Baxley, Georgia, started by Clay Sharp and Brian King over a decade ago, combining the styles of country, southern rock, rap, and blues to form their own unique style and sound. Again, we've got, that's the Beats portion. The BBQ portion, well, that's a Kansas City BBQ Society sanctioned backyard competition being ran by the Oklahoma Barbecue Society, the #1 ranked KCSB backyard team, along with several other top 25 teams here competing for great payouts, including the People's Choice Award Saturday and Sunday. That's right, the People's Choice Award. For all of you folks here at Grand Lake, you can have an opportunity to taste some of this delicious barbecue as a part of the competition. Purchase a $10 plate today from the ticket booth and head down to the main serving area for a blind taste test of the team's pulled pork entries tomorrow from 12 to 2. You can purchase another $10 plate from the main ticket area and sample the outlaw-style Chef's Choice dishes. All right, and we've got the tri-hulls. The final few tri-hulls are getting themselves loaded in the water. The nice thing about the tri-hulls is most of these guys don't need to do much tweaking and tuning in between heats. So what they'll do is a lot of times is you'll see them leave their boats here in the water throughout the day of qualifying just to make things a little bit easier, especially considering we've only got a couple of ramps here. All right, well, before we get started with the Texas Tri-Hulls, joining me now, and the man who went wire to wire in qualifying heat #1 in Formula Lights, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. Well, Mark, we've done a lot of these the last few years, and no different here. It seems like, boy, if you can get the fast lap qualifier, that whole shot in that pole position is very beneficial in qualifying heat 1.
Lack of horsepower, and we hope to get to qualifying. But then you got a lot of work, Jose, and the people behind you. We're all under 1 second of each other, so it's tough.
Yeah, for sure, and that makes heat #2 even that much more difficult with these 2-cylinder 45 cubic inch OMCs, like you mentioned, underpowered. Right? How hard is that gonna make it for you having to start now 6th and last off the start dock for qualifying heat 2 later on today?
I think it's very difficult because this is a real short course, and passing is going to be at a premium, especially when you got more of the veterans in the front that know how to get around the race course. So, we definitely got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, the water out there a little smooth, but I saw you limping when you came up here. Still take a beating in that Formula Lights machine, even with some clear water, huh?
No, not really. It's just old age, catching up with me.
well, old age may catch up with you when you're outside the cockpit, but boy, you run like you're a young gun out there when you're inside the cockpit of your Formula Lights machine. Congratulations on another heat win, and good luck trying to make your way through the pack here in Heat 2 as you set yourself up to hopefully take home an inaugural championship in Formula Lights here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ.
Thank you again, and this is a great place. I'm loving it.
Hey, absolutely, especially for a guy from Wisconsin where it's 100 degrees back home right now this weekend, enjoying a little cooler weather here on the shores of Grand Lake. In Grove, Oklahoma, the 35 of Mark Schmierbach. He's an engineer by trade, so not the most talkative of people, but does a really good job inside the cockpit of that Formula Lights machine. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here, thanks to more of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with qualifying heat number 2 here in the Texas Tri-Hull class.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
All right, race fans, again, Mercury Racing, Kicker Marine Audio, the official series audio partner of the Formula One Powerboat Championship. Kicker Marine Audio produces real marine audio components, meticulously designed and engineered and built with durability to withstand harsh marine environment and the power to be heard with clarity, even in an open air environment, just like Formula One Racing. And VP Racing Fuels and, of course, Mercury Racing are great partners, but also the great folks at Axel Sports, the official apparel provider of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Axel Sports, your passion drives us to excel. Seaway Marine. Seaway operates out of a 62,000 square foot warehouse that is packed with current OEM parts, aftermarket parts, and vintage hard-to-find parts. They ship over 100,000 packages all over the U.S. each year. They provide same-day shipping on in-stock orders. Their staff's arguably the most knowledgeable in the industry with decades of experience. Seaway prides themselves in excellent customer service. Make Seaway Marine your first call or text for your marine part needs at 425-412-4006 or find them online at seawaymarine.com, your one-stop boat motor shop. Racing Communications. They're radios for racing. Seabolt Sports, world champion, powerboat racing since 1939. JH Performance Boats, custom handcrafted shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. And Moto Marketing Group. Big shout out to KP and the great folks at Moto MG, providing award-winning advertising and strategic marketing solutions to any size company or team with one-on-one service and consulting. Moto Marketing Group excels in racing and sports marketing, advertising, and design, and they have a track record to prove it. From boats, cars, to motorcycles, if it has an engine, they can make it scream. Our great partners, always beneficial bringing us here. You know, we got to thank our other great partners for this event alone. First and foremost, the great folks at Mid-America Outdoors, located right here in Jay, Oklahoma, just south of Grand Lake, doing some phenomenal things in multiple disciplines of racing and bringing in the Formula One Powerboat Championship to the fold here in 2023. Not only are we going to be doing Boats, Beats, and BBQ here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma, but we're also going to be the Legends of Havasu the final weekend of October, and we're going to be running with the great folks of Mid-America Outdoors. Again, gotta love the great folks that are a big part of Mid-America Outdoors and a big part of us, and that's the great folks at Good Boy Vodka. Good Boy Vodka, a new vodka on the scene. Really a lot of proceeds helping from Good Boy Vodka to go to provide specialty dogs for military veterans with PTSD, helping them get back to a normal life. Big shout out to the great folks at Good Boy Vodka. Can-Am, everything 2 and 4 wheels, the great folks at Can-Am, even 3 wheels, a great partner of Mid-America Outdoors as well as ours. And finally, Ultimax, high performance belts in your side-by-side or UTV. Check out the great folks at Ultimax Performance Belts by Timken. All right, we've got them lined up and ready to go. Again, we're going to flip that script. Worst goes to first, first goes to worst. So your winner from qualifying heat number 1 outside of our rookie here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ, the DD1 of Andy Miller. You're going to see our winner from heat number 1, the 9 of Dustin Terry, come outside of row 1. Take a look there. So on the inside of row 1, the 37 of Mason Rinker. Then it's the 52 of Tanner Rinker, the 10 of Terry Rinker, the Rinkers 3, top 3 here in heat number 2. Then the 88 of Wells, the 69 of Waring, the 93 of Jensen, the 26 of Briston Sherman, the 17 of Neil Marsh, the 13 of Grant Schubert, the 6 of Terry, and then the DD1 of Andy Miller, our rookie here, having to start from the back. Oh, no, looks like the 52 of Tanner Rinker didn't get it started. He's going to have to shuffle back in. That moves the 10 of Scary Jerry Rinker up, and here we go, green light. We're underway as the 10 of Jerry Rinker and the 37 of Mason Rinker go side by side. It's grandfather and grandson doing battle here with the 69 of Cole, the mullet Wearing. Look at that on board of the 13 of Grant Schubert. Look at how rough it is there in this Texas Tri-Hull class as they go 3-4 wide into the corner. The 37 of Mason Rinker is able to get the early lead, squeeze out ahead of the 10 of Jerry Rinker. Then it's the 69 of Cole Waring, the 88 of Josh Wells, the 26 of Briston Sherman, the 13 of Grant Schubert. Here comes the 6 of Dustin Terry, the Dustman. Was a dominant force in Texas Tri-Hull before moving up to F1. He goes down tight to the inside, scrubs off a lot of speed, but look at the 13 of Schubert hopping through the wakes as he's right behind the 88 of Josh Wells. As he goes pounding around the outside, you can see how violent it is inside these Texas Tri-Hulls. That's why we call them bumper boats at 65 miles an hour. As he throws it to the outside, trying to hang on and get by the 88 of Wells. Now he goes tight to the pin. Oh, he bounces around hard. Oh, look out there. Briston Sherman just in front of the 13 of Grant Schubert. Almost got it completely airborne as he's up in 4th position, fighting hard. Now here comes the 17 of Neil Marsh, the dude, on the outside hip. There's the 26 of Briston Sherman. As they're continuing to fight hard, the 17 of Neil Marsh moving his way up. The 26 of Briston Sherman sitting in 3rd. The 13 of Grant Schubert in 4th. Now the 17 of Neil Marsh getting by the 6 of Dustin Terry. I thought so for a second there, but man, what a great move by Terry down the inside at the south end of the course in turn number 1. Now he moves way wide to the outside. That clears a lane for the 17 of Marsh. But they are all over each other here in this 7-lap qualifying heat. Second of 4 here in the Texas Tri-Hull. What a move there Oh boy, the 6 of Terry took away the move that the 17 of Marsh was trying to do. Marsh almost had to go over the top of the buoy and take it out in the corner. Oh, now we got the 6 of Terry on top of, who is he all over right there? That looks like it might be the 26 of Briston Sherman as they go down into the south end of the course. Then there's the 13 of Schubert, and the 6 of Terry finds himself right in the rooster tail as the 13 of Schubert's all over the 69 of Cole Mullet Wearing. This is Texas Tri-Hulls at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. If the 17 of Neil Marsh had anything to say about it, it would be All right, we are back here with hot laps here in the final race of the afternoon. Here on the inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQ here on beautiful Grand Lake in Grove, Oklahoma. A part of the amazing events put on by Mid-America Outdoors. Hey, there we are, guys. What's going on? Wherever you are across the world, we're hoping you're having a great day and enjoying some awesome tunnel boat racing here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ. Again, I am Thomas Yarbrough, bringing you all the live racing action. They call me the Noise of the North. Down here in Oklahoma, cooling down from the temperatures back home in Minnesota. So thank you, Mother Nature, for bringing some, for allowing me to drag some cooler temperatures with me from Minnesota and delivering those much hotter temperatures to my home state instead of here in Oklahoma. But we're getting the, again, hot lap, getting these motors kind of lubed up, warmed up, ready to go. Very imperative, especially with our two-stroke competitors. The four-stroke guys don't have to worry nearly as much about that. But speaking of four strokes, they better be ready for the 190 Dustin Terry, the rest of the field, because he finished third in heat number 1. He was screaming fast. If he can figure it out here in heat 2, he might be able to do some great blocking and really do a great job here in qualifying heat number 2. All right, there we see. Look at all the people hanging out on the pontoons, chilling in the great cool waters here at Grand Lake. They got the party rocking and rolling. They're getting ready here. As soon as racing's over, you're going to see all these boats ascend to the beach right off in front of the Wolf Creek Park here, as we've got the rock night of the Beats portion of Boats, Beats, and BBQ. Don't forget to get your $10 plate from your Kansas City barbecue competition teams. And do the People's Choice for pulled pork today and the Outlaw Chef Special tomorrow. What a great day it's been. The smell of barbecue in the air, the smell of two-stroke exhaust off these Formula Ones, and some great tunes that are going to rock us into the evening here at the inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQ here in beautiful Grove, Oklahoma. Big shout-out to Mid-America Outdoors and their partners, Can-Am, Good Boy Vodka, and all their great partners. But look at them all partying down there on the far north end of the course there. You can see there, that's the 52 of Chris Ringer. There's our stage, right? That's going to be jam-packed with people later on today. They would be there now if it weren't for us having to close off this portion of the lake for safety concerns, as these boats in excess of 115 plus miles an hour. A little unsafe if you've got boats cruising right along the outside of the course while they're running at speeds in the triple digits. But we're getting the field lined up here. Let's take a look. Is this good? Let's take a look at our starting lineup for qualifying heat number 2 here in the Formula One class. On the pole here in heat number 1, boy, it's been a troubling weekend for the 13 at Grant Schubert. He blew his primary motor up in testing yesterday, threw a piston out the right side, put his backup motor on, was breaking that motor in, had a fuel leak, started his boat on fire. It took 5 people to douse the flames on the back of that JH Performance DAC with the 13 at Grant Schubert. So he turns out and only makes 5 laps in qualifying heat number 1, and then he gets penalized for a lane violation. He didn't hold his lane through the commitment buoy, so all those added up. He's finished last in heat 1, so he's going to start on the pole here in qualifying heat number 2. Coming second off the start pontoon in a brand new APX 4-stroke machine that he's never driven before, so a little bit tentative here in qualifying. He's hoping to get himself comfortable for the main event. is the man out of Richmond, Texas, formerly out of Chicago, Illinois, the number 15, Tim Kraft. Third off the start pontoon here is one half of the Welch Racing team out of Wayzata, Minnesota, the number 95 of Mark Welch. Fourth off the start pontoon, running for Yates Racing, Snap-on Tools and JH Performance, the number 99 at Travis Yates. In fifth position, the number 12, one half of the Clover Construction Racing team, the rookie here in 2023, the number 12 of Sean Love. In sixth position, started fourth after fast lap qualifiers and had probably the worst start of his career off the beach. I don't know what happened, but sixth off the start pontoon after a ninth place finish in heat number 1, the number 59 of Tyler Welch. Seventh off the start pontoon, I don't know if his motor was going away or what. That thing is not performing what I'm used to seeing out of the 17 of Dylan Anderson. Finished 8th in heat number 1. Starting 7th here in heat number 2, the 17 of Dylan Anderson. And then you see the next three, right? 8, 9, and 10. The 190 Dustin Terry, what a gem of a performance, who's starting in 10th there in heat number 1. He held the 8 of Mayo, the 94 of Wyatt, and the 17 of Dylan Anderson at bay for every single lap of that first qualifying heat. He did it well. But starting in 8th, the number 94 needs to get better here in heat number 2 of Rusty Wyatt, the Innisfil, Ontario, Canada native, our lone Canadian here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ. 9th off the start pontoon, Jeremiah Get Out of My Way, Mayo, one half of the Phase 3 performance team. They're starting in 9th position here in qualifying heat number 2. And then our top handful of qualifiers from heat number 1 are going to round out the grid. In 11th, the number 24 of Spencer Love. In 12th, the 52 of Chris Rinker. And in 13th, our winner from heat number 1 who went wire to wire, the number 10 of Terry Rinker. And unfortunately, the number 9 of Johnny Fleming unable to get that steering cable fixed after it snapped just before the start of qualifying heat number 1. And he is still in the pits and is going to be a DNS for both heats 1 and 2. Boy, that's going to make it tough from a points perspective, but hopefully he can get that figured out and ready to roll for tomorrow so he can hopefully gain some good points in heat number 1 and try to put a good showing on in the final. But frustrating for the young man out of Woodlands, Texas, as he's going to be a scratch here in heat number 2, the 9 of Johnny Fleming. All right, we've got him lined up. We've got them lined up here on the shores of Grand Lake, getting ready for word from Chief Referee Doug Ray that they are all lined up in proper order with proper spacing as we run our modified Le Mans start here in qualifying heat number 2. All right, we're going to test flag for our drivers so they can see where that flag is at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up on the 1 minute gun. 1 minute drivers, 1 minute. Ken, the competitors who struggled in heat number 1, gather some important points here in heat number 2 as you see the 13 of Grant Schubert starting on the pole. 50 seconds, drivers, 50 seconds. Could the likes of Dylan Anderson, Rusty Wyatt, and Jeremiah Mayo, who are in that mid-pack, make a move here in heat number 2? 40 seconds, drivers, 40 seconds. Could the 190 of Dustin Terry win another heat with that 4-stroke APX competition Mercury outboard on the back? 30 seconds, drivers, 30 seconds. Could the 59 of Tyler Welch do a 180 and have the best start of his career and come out with the whole shot? Or could our top 2 drivers come from back of the pack all the way to the front here in heat 2? Let's find out. Final race of the day. 20 seconds, drivers are under starters' orders. He drops the flag. They come roaring off the beach. Great jump there by the 13 of Schubert and the 59 of Welch, as well as the 17 of Dylan Anderson. They run the gates there. Oh, look out. Somebody's getting real tight. That's the 59 of Tyler Welch. Looks like he goes way down tight to the inside. Who's going to come out on top? It's the 13 of Grant Schubert. Makes his way through the chute first. As they all try to get through. Boy, the 52 of Rinker and the 10 of Rinker really mired way back there. Did not get a good shot as they slide 5 wide. Coming down the front stretch, the 13 of Schubert out in front, then the 95 of Welch, and here comes the 59 of Tyler Welch. And the 12 of Sean Loves. They go 3 wide down into the corner. Oh, nice job there by the 12 of Sean Love. Now sneaking up down to the inside. It's the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. And the 17 of Dylan Anderson after almost running into the bulkhead. And the wave break here on the front stretch. What happened to the 190 of Dustin Terry? He's sitting back in 13th position. 12th position. Frustrating start there, but a good one for the 13 of Grant Schubert. He's trying to go wire to wire here as we flipped that script here in Heat 2. He finished last in Heat 1. He started on the pole here in Heat 2. Then it's the 12 of Sean Love, the 59 of Tyler Welch, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt, the 17 of Dylan Anderson, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo, the 95 of Mark Welch, and here comes the 10 of Terry Rinker. Can he have enough time to make his way through the field? As they're continuing to run hard now, the 95 of Mark Welch and the 59 and the 12 of Sean Love. What happened to the 59 of Tyler Welch? He's back way off. No, that's the 59 of Tyler Welch that's up in third, and he's battling hard. As our leaders are pushing hard, the 13 of Grant Schubert's out in front. Then it's the 12 of Sean Love, the 59 of Tyler Welch, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. Wyatt pushing hard up in fourth there. Behind him, nipping on his heels is the 17 of Anderson. You see the spray there from that Anderson Marine machine. There's our second place boat, the 12 of Sean Love. This could easily be his best finish if he's able to hang on here in qualifying heat number 2. He's got about a full turn lead. The 13 of Schubert does over the 12 of Sean Love. Sean had a tough 23 so far. I think he's gone on his upside down 3 or 4 times already in 2023. There he is, the rookie, but he's learning, and he's learning really fast. Maybe he did it probably the toughest way possible by going upside down with a handful of barrel rolls, but boy, you see that 59 of Tyler Welch is getting doused by the 12 of Sean Love. He has to ride off his outside hip in that WYSIWYG sponsored Welch Racing Baba hull. That's an Italian-built full composite hull that they brought over from Italy here to the United States after acquiring it from a racer overseas. But look at him just getting hammered through the wash. There's the 13 of Schubert, comes flashing by. Look at the 59 of Welch on the outside line, running wide to the outside there, trying to keep the RPMs up. Now he's going to work his way back down to the inside and shut the door on the 94 of Rusty Wyatt, who sits in 4th position. And then the 17 of Dylan Anderson in 5th, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo there in 6th. Then it's the 95. No, it's the 10 of Terry Rinker, then the 24 of Spencer Love, then the 52 of Chris Rinker. Boy, where is the 10 of Terry Rinker coming from? He's just sneaking up on his teammate now. There's the 190 of Dustin Terry. Really struggling here in Heat 2. I thought I was going to see a much better showing by the 190 of Dustin Terry after a great 3rd position finish. But here comes 13. We just saw him flash by. Then there's the 12 of Spencer Love. And the 59 of Tyler Welch is continuing to gain on the 12 of Shane Love. As they continue to push out, there's the 17 of Dylan Anderson sitting in 4th position, trying to track down the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. A little bit better here in Heat 2, but a little bit off the pace so far from what I've expected out of the 17 of Dylan Anderson, or come to expect here by that masterful driver out of Tennessee. There's the 94 of Wyatt. And here come our leaders flashed by. Now it's the 12 of Love and the 59 of Welch, who continue to do battle. Nice job by the 12 of Sean Love as he stand tight to the inside and will not allow the 59 of Tyler Welch any room, forcing the young driver out of Wayzata, Minnesota. Maybe young in age, but tons of experience in a big tunnel boat. But the 12 of Love doing a good job there. There's the 94 of Wyatt now starting to gain ground on the 59 of Welch, because Welch is having to drive all over the race course to try to get by the 12 of Sean Love. There's the 24 of Spencer Love flashing, and there's the 13 of Grant Schubert starting to sneak up on him as he gets by his teammate, fellow Outlaw F1 teammate, the 15 of Tim Kraft. Now he goes down into turn 1, off turn 1, now out of turn number 2. Puts on its tail, 105, 110, 115 plus miles an hour as that JH Performance Formula 1 DAC is pushing down the backstretch. Here's that battle again for 2nd and 3rd. The 12 of Sean Love making his way down into turn number 3. He sets it off at 3. Welch just struggling, and here comes our leader, sweeping it by the outside, keeping those RPMs up. Now he's got a nice little clean section of water. He's going to run it hard here as he was able to get by his teammate, the 15 of Tim Kraft. There's the 12 of Sean Love. Oh, sorry, that's the 95 of Mark Welch, who's another lap traffic. Looks like he's struggling quite a bit out there. Is the 95 of Mark Welch. The 15 of Tim Kraft cut him some slack. This is his first time with that APX 4-stroke competition Mercury outboard on the back. Oh, look out there. Was that the 12 of Sean Love? He had to cut way to the outside. This could be exactly what the 59 of Tyler Welch was looking for. As he go out of the outside, we got the 59 of Tyler Welch and the 12 of Sean Love side by side. And a look at the 59 of Tyler Welch walking it down the front straightaway. As he walks it by the 12 of Sean Love and shuts the door. Oh, he leaves him a lane, but we got them all wadded up. You got the 94 of Wyatt, the 12 of Love, the 59 of Welch. All sandwiched together, but the 94 of Wyatt looks like he might come out on top as he goes down tight to the inside. Who's going to come out of turn number 3? The 94 of Wyatt goes way down to the inside. He's able to get by the 59 of Tyler Welch, and he now finds himself in second place behind the 13 of Grant Schubert. No, sorry, he's in third place. The 12 of Sean Love is able to make it out. Now the 59 of Tyler Welch, after a mistake down to the back straightaway, has shuffled back to fourth position and is pushing hard. He's now got to catch the 94 of Rusty Wyatt. Boy, the 94 of Wyatt really needed this here in heat number 2. As they're pushing hard. All right, as we continue, get back here. There's a 12 of Sean Love. There's the 59 of Tyler Welch. And now you see he's got a battle with the 17 of Dylan Anderson, who's up in his rearview mirror. And Dylan Anderson's got a rearview mirror of Terry Rinker, who's already gotten by his teammate, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo. And I apologize. We've got a glitch with one of our transponders, the 10 of Terry Rinker, not in second position. He's actually in sixth position right now, trying to chase down the number 17 of Dylan Anderson. So it looks right now the 13 of Grant Schubert out in first, the 12 of Sean Love in second, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt in third, the 59 of Tyler Welch in fourth, and then the 17 of Dylan Anderson fifth, 10 of Terry Rinker sixth, and the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo seventh. There's the 59 of Welch. You can see that flash of blue right through the rooster tail as he's got the 17 of Anderson all over him. And Anderson can't just focus on the 59 of Welch because he's got a rearview mirror full of the 10 of Terry Rinker. Can the 94 of Rusty Wyatt track down the 12 of Sean Love? And where did Sean Love come from, ladies and gentlemen? Boy, this young rookie has struggled. And we see what happens when he gets a good start as the white flag comes out for our leader. The young man trying to go wire to wire here in heat number 2 after a brutal qualifying heat number 1. The white flag is out, go fast, turn left. But now we focus back on that battle between the 12 of Sean Love and the 94 of Wyatt. You can barely see Wyatt through the spray. Can he get by the 12 of Sean Love here on this final lap? Can he make a move? He slams the door down tight to the inside, puts it back up on its tail off of turn number 2, and leads to the accelerator. Now he chooses to go wide to the outside now as the 12 of Sean Love starts to move down towards the pin as they go down the back straightaway. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, as he walks in out of turn 4, our winner in qualifying heat number 2, number 13, Grant Schubert. And we got that battle for second as we circle back. Who's going to finish in second? Ladies and gentlemen, in his best finish in a tunnel boat, number 12, Sean Love in second, the 94 of Rusty Wyatt in third, and the 59 of Tyler Welch by a nose in fourth, the 17 of Dylan Anderson in fifth, the 10 of Terry Rinker in sixth, the 8 of Jeremiah Mayo in seventh, the 24 of Spencer Love in eighth, the 52 of Chris Rinker in ninth, and the 190 of Dustin Terry in 10th. That's our top 10, rounding out the rest of the field in 11th, the 95 of Mark Welch in 12th. The 99 of Travis Yates, and picking up a buoy on his final lap, so going a lap down and finishing in 13th, the 15 of Tim Kraft. What a doozy of a race that was. There's the 15 of Tim Kraft. He collected some unwanted boat jewelry here in qualifying heat number 2 after Pearson, one of the turn markers down at the north end of the course, but what a doozy of a race that was. The 13 of Grant Schubert, last in for heat 1. First in heat 2. Talk about a turnaround. Great run there by the 12 of Sean Love. Heck of a run by the young rookie on the Clover Construction Racing team. He has really been struggling to finish qualifying heats because he ends up on his head. He's barrel rolled, I think, 4 times so far this year, maybe 3 barrel rolls and a blowover. But they say when you move up a class in boat racing, it's not a matter of if, it's when. But let's take a look at that battle. The 10 of Terry Rinker, let's scratch that. I don't know why that's there again. We're working on finding a gremlin with that one transponder. But the 94 of Rusty Wyatt in second. In third, was the 12 of Sean Love's. Looks like we've got a couple of bad transponders there, but you look at that time. 8:42. Sean Love finished in second with an 8:40 total elapsed time. Rusty Wyatt in third with an 8:42. In fourth, the 59 of Taylor Welch with an 8:44. And then it's the 17 of Dylan Anderson with an 8:44.65. So from second through sixth, there was like, what, a handful of seconds between all of them, which is pretty impressive considering on water it's very difficult to stay that close to your competitor when you don't have a solid surface underneath you. Unlike car racing, you've got a solid and consistent surface underneath you. Well, if you change lanes in a boat and that water on the lane that you've now chosen to go into is just absolutely brutal, you're stuck, right? I picked a lane. That lane is bad. I've got to make sure that I get out of that lane and get into a better lane next time around. But the ground that you lose when you make that decision is so detrimental in tunnel boat racing and compared to car racing that the fact that we had second, third, fourth, fifth, and even sixth all within about 3.5 to 4 seconds of one another is super impressive. And that just goes to show the top to bottom competitive nature that we have here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. You know, just like everybody else, we've got drivers that are going to have down weekends. We've got new drivers that are learning, no different than you see in NASCAR or Formula One, right? I mean, the Williams racing team, granted, I'll give it better this year, but a lot of times those guys are way off the pace and there's really nothing they can do about it. It's amazing to me the competitive nature and the competency of all the teams that we have here and how well they run together. And joining me now to chat about that qualifying heat number 2 win is going to be the young man out of Richmond, Texas. Joining me now, the young man who took qualifying heat number 2 here on the start pontoon, the 13 of Grant Schubert. Grant, boy, what a difference a qualifying heat makes, man. That was a complete script you flipped there, finishing last in heat 1 and taking it wire to wire here in heat 2.
Oh, man, we've been having motor problems all weekend. We blew a motor up, caught one on fire. In the first qualifying heat, the motor we just ran just quit on us for no reason. It's a little easier on me in the weekend whenever I get to start up front and it actually runs and makes it all the way.
Yeah, did you ever figure out what happened there in qualifying heat number 1 that caused that motor to die?
So there's a little rubber gasket and filling that goes on the water tube on the gear case. We didn't have one, so we've been running less water all year since Port Neches.
Okay, well, at least you figured it out now. Obviously behind you, ran really well. There was less than 3 seconds between second and I think seventh. How hard is it to move up when you've got top to bottom such tough competitors here on the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series?
Oh, man, it's really hard, especially when you have so many good drivers like Jeremiah, Dylan Anderson, Chris Rinker, Terry Rinker. Those guys know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time. You can't just go next to those guys and outdrive them because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, a little bit different than the tri-hull where you just kind of run it flat out and slam into each other. We saw some great onboard footage from you in your tri-hull. But what do you take from the tri-hull and try to apply here when you get into the big Formula One boat?
The best thing to do is just make your perfect lap. When you have clean water, if you make your perfect lap, nobody's going to catch you.
Right on, man. Well, hey, we're going to let you get back. Hopefully no more motor fires, no more missing gaskets here. You collect some good points, but I know you got a long road ahead of you because you didn't get any points in qualifying heat number 1. And it's going to be a tough weekend for you, but maybe, just maybe, you'll find your first podium here in F1.
Right, I hope so.
Right on. That is the number 13 of Grant Schubert, your young driver who went wire to wire here in qualifying heat number 2. And he's looking to do some more damage tomorrow. Because, again, we're going to be back tomorrow morning here for day 2 of Boats, Beats, and BBQ racing action here at the inaugural event here in beautiful Grand Lake in Grove, Oklahoma. Again, we take a look at our schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to start things off at 9 a.m. here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun tonight, but Thankfully, it'll be an early night, so you can get back here at 9 a.m. We're going to go live on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to go live here locally in Grove at 9 a.m. with the second qualifying heat in Formula Lights, followed by the third qualifying heat in Tri-Hall, then the second qualifying heat in Formula Lights, the third F1 heat at 10:30 a.m., the heat 4 for the Texas Tri-Hulls, and then the Tri-Hull final, F-Lights final, and Formula One final. We'll wrap up racing at 2 o'clock before the second iteration, the country day of the Beats portion of Boats, Beats, and BBQ here at the inaugural event on Grand Lake. Again, we got some guys going out there. We got the race ride experience out on the water right now. And we take a look at there. That's the Formula One race ride experience. There is a Formula One Powerboat Championship Series fan in the cockpit with multi-time world and national champion and series CEO Tim Siebold, as we're going to give some people the ride of a lifetime and experience what's it like to turn 4+ G's in the quarter in speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour here on the shores of Grand Lake. Again, the most shoreline of any lake in the United States. What an impressive place this is. I've never been down here to Oklahoma. So glad that I was able to spend my Labor Day weekend here in 2023 in Oklahoma here with all you great folks, mowing down on some barbecue, jamming to some great tunes, and a jam-packed day of racing. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here. We really appreciate you guys being with us here locally and wherever you are all across the world. We hope you enjoyed day one here at Boats, Beats, and BBQ on Grand Lake. We're going to say a quick few words from our sponsors, and we're going to wrap things up here for day one, and we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
VP Racing Fuels has been the official fuel of racing for over 45 years. But VP isn't just race fuels. VP offers a wide range of oils, additives, and our new Stay Frosty coolants to help keep your street car, tow vehicle, or weekend warrior running at its best. VP products are engineered to keep your vehicle running smooth and looking great for your daily commute. With our octane boosters, fuel treatments, and quick detailing products. Explore VP's full product line at vpracingfuels.com.
All right, race fans, to wrap things up here, appreciate you joining me here for day one. We're going to thank our last few sponsors here, and we're going to wrap things up. On top of the great sponsors there, VP, Kicker, Mercury Racing, there's the great folks at Moto Marketing Group. Moto Marketing Group provides award-winning advertising and strategic marketing solutions to any size company or team with one-on-one service and consulting. Moto Marketing Group excels in racing and sports marketing, advertising, and design, and they have the track record to prove it. From boats to cars, motorcycles, if it has an engine, they can make it scream. Excel Sports, official apparel provider of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series. Axel Sports, your passion drives us to excel. Racing Communications, their radios for racing. JH Performance Boats, custom handcrafted shallow water bay boats built with the highest quality materials. Seabolt Sports, world champion powerboat racing since 1939. And the official sponsor of the Formula Lights division of the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, Seaway Marine. Seaway Marine is your one-stop dealership for current and vintage outboard and stern drive parts. They specialize in hard-to-find and no longer available new old stock for Johnson, Evinrude, Yamaha, Gale, Mercury, Force, and Chrysler outboard motors, as well as OMC, Merc Cruiser, and Volvo stern drive and engine parts and Chris Crafts. Seaway Marine, your one-stop boat motor shop. Find them at seawaymarine.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, on behalf of everybody here at the Formula One Powerboat Championship Series, I appreciate you for joining us today for a great weekend of racing so far here. We're day one in. Tomorrow we're going to be back with more phenomenal, top-notch Formula One, Formula Light, and Tri-Hull racing here on the shores of Grand Lake. It's the inaugural Boats, Beats, and BBQs. God bless, be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. Central here in the U.S. as we get ready for day 2 to rock and roll this Labor Day weekend. Get down here. We got Brett Michaels headlining the rock portion of Boats, Beats, and BBQ. I'm Thomas Yarbrough, the Noise of the North. We'll see you tomorrow.